that. Man, we're sharks at this. All right, video picture is excellent, but I don't see anything yet. But here we go. Here we are. Here we are. Welcome to the live show. Yes, yes,
Yeah,
yes.
it's on YouTube. It's working.
On YouTube. There we go. And I'm not bothering with Facebook. I'm just going to link it to Facebook this time. Even though everybody was really excited to see it on Facebook, I'm not going to do that. So there we are. That's our show. All right. Well, thanks for coming, guys. We'll see you next week.
Ricky's here. Ricky's already here. What's up, Ricky? Thank you for joining, brother.
There you go, Rick. All right. So yeah, today's going to be exciting. I know we could talk about all kinds of stuff, but I'm going to full disclosure. I'm gonna do a video opposite to the way Rick does. And we're talking about we're confused because Rick's here, but not that Rick.
Yeah.
Full disclosure, we're working on a speaker. So if you guys know about that because you're like the super fans, you know we're working on a line array, a column array. It's going to be a column array, not a line array. And so there's a lot of research being done. So the idea is that, we have to make sure we get the right looking speaker at the right price. And that's what today's show is going to be all about. And you know what? There's so much talk. I know this might be a topic that's getting boring, but I think for most portable live shows,
It's never boring.
it's gonna but that's it. I think that's it. I think for personal, for personal live shows, this is a category that's pretty much taking over.
100%. 100%.
So, James, how was your week this week?
Man, my week was busy, man. Like I got back from vacation. I had to, get my shop back in order here in Houston. And then I got my first wedding coming up this Saturday, 6 days from now. So I've been prepping for that and, because I'm changing a lot of things for 2026 for this season. So I'm taking out a new booth. I still am taking out the EXOTONs, which I was using those at the end of last year. I don't know. I'm still deciding because I love the EXOTONs. I guess it depends on how many people are at the event. So, and of course the size of the room and all that. But most likely we'll be taking the EXOTONs out quite a bit. But I am a little scared, man, because my buddy D-Main that I had on the podcast, he was like my second guest. I think it was after you or maybe the third guest. He just posted a video. He blew one of his EXOTONs. So... yeah, so we got to get more information about that. Like, how did it happen? I want him to take the grill off. I want to see what it looks like. But because I've pushed those EXOTONs hard, man. I've pushed them to where the clipping light was blinking like crazy. And they never blew. So I was like, what did he do? So, but he was like, I'm used to running passive speakers. And I just switched over to these. And anyway, so we'll see what comes of that. But you know me, I got like 50 different speakers, so it doesn't really matter. But it does matter like during the event, but it wouldn't matter afterwards. But yeah, man. So DJing wise, I didn't really do much. I just, like I said, prepped, and I'm going to go and get my trailer out of storage probably on Wednesday because my wedding's on Saturday. And I want to bring it to the house and make sure the E-track's all good, make sure all the screws are tight, check the air pressure in the tires, all that good stuff. And do all that. So
you do when you got a driveway. You can like, hey.
Yeah, I got me a big old driveway.
I can rotate my tires and then read the information that says don't rotate your tires, and then rotate them back. Oh, I wasn't supposed to do that. Yeah. Well, by the way, James, can you dial back about 3 dB on your microphone?
Yep.
Just a hair, because you're just peaking just a little bit.
How's that? Check 1 2. Check 1 2.
Yeah, hold it. Keep the mic back like you have it there, a little bit further away from you, so it's not your cozy neighbor. You don't have to turn it down. Just keep the mic away from you, because you're leaning in hot. You're leaning in hot.
Yeah,
I just feel bad afterwards. Yeah, because I feel bad afterwards because I want to keep the video up, and it's like I blew my last live show. I went, oh my gosh. I asked if the voice was good, and I didn't put the headphones back on, and my mic was hot, and it just distorted the whole video. So
okay.
I was like, shit. I went, oh man. Now I feel bad because a long time ago I had that complaint. And people at first were nice. Your volume's really low. because I launched so many videos at a time right away. And by the time I started getting people to watching them and putting comments, it was way too late. And it's like they're going, does this guy not know he's got an entire store full of equipment? Can he not use any of it to make this video? Yeah,
Oh my
it's true.
goodness.
God, that's right. I was so naive back then.
What's up,
But
Gavin, Nuno, Sky, Diver, Jim, J Tech? Everybody's here in the comments. How do we all sound? Robin said I was coming in hot, so let us know. Does it sound? How's it sound?
look at me. I'm like white out here. I need some sun, man. I need a tan.
Yeah.
You went to California and it was a heat wave, I guess, or something. So
Oh no, it was perfect. The weather was beautiful there. It was 72 degrees every day.
Man, that's some nice stuff. I don't get those privileges.
Yeah.
I'm just making a mess of my own screen here. There we go. Yes. All right. So let's touch a couple of stuff. Everybody came here. Okay. First of all, I promised we're not going to talk about EXOTON too much. That's not what we're doing here today. But I did promise because I wanted to put I wanted to get my post on the EXOTON page, so I had to make an EXOTON promise. But then I don't know if they kept it up there or not because it had every other brand on the poster, which was, I think I may have a little bit of a solution for the 8 kilohertz problem where it peaks, the audio goes a little hot on 8 kilohertz. And that is, I sent you, because I don't have a Mac, so I sent you the software Mac, and I'm running the other one over here, and it's worked out really well for me. It's a small app that you can, it's a small app. I had to check over to make sure I got it right. It's called FX Sound. Okay? FX Sound. If you have a PC, that's perfect. Now for the Mac I sent you, it's called EQ Mac. Now the main difference between the two is that they're exactly the same size, like the amount of bands they work with. But with the FX Sound, it's a 10 band EQ, which I thought was kind of odd. Usually it's 9 or 15 or 31. But anyway, so 10 band. But you don't just get to slide exactly 8,000 because you can tweak it to 8,000. But then you can actually pull that down by 9 to 12 dB. And then you can tighten up the curve. So instead of it being like a V, like, from whatever's next to it down to 8, you can actually push it in tighter. So this way it becomes a very tight little V going down. So you're not really distorting everything else around it. I thought, wow, that works. And I tried it. It does work, and it works really well. And it's very fast. It doesn't add any delay to the processing time. So, I mean, it's not perfect. Nothing's perfect except for them, coming up with a solution to it. But it's really, nice sounding little effects that you can run in the behind your controller, because it runs between your controller and going out to your speakers. So it basically loops in and out. So your software, it acts as a filter between it going back out of your sound card. So that sound card can be your controller, it could be your mixer, it could be anything you have. It just basically takes the input, processes it, and shoots it out the output. You pick your output. So in my case, I picked my mixer that I was using. Even though I have a controller, I still send all my audio out of mixer. So I chose the mixer as the output, and it was perfect. And I just realized I can't hear it, but maybe somebody else, maybe the algorithm can.
The music.
Music's playing in the goddamn background.
It's really quiet. It's really, I can't even tell what it is.
Yeah, well, it's, how it is, eh? My ears, your ears, YouTube ears. You owe David Guetta a nickel. Yes, because it's going to make or break. People are going to watch the show just to listen to that song in the background. So that could help for anybody who's like trying to work with that and struggle with that. But outside of that, I'm more your breaking news is much more that Bud had a speaker go down on him. So
yeah, crazy, right?
Yeah, but hey, it seems like on Marshall they're quoting the line I quoted to you just a couple of weeks ago, and I've quoted many times on my channel. But it's not my line. It belongs to the Navy SEALs. 2 is 1, 1 is none.
Yeah.
By the way, the acting in that series is really, really bad. I've still watched every episode. Don't get me wrong. I've watched all 3 episodes. I'm going, man, it's like you could almost tell that they weren't acting, and then it was like action, and then they started acting. I'm going, could they not? I don't know what's up with. Anyways, it's not Yellowstone, that's for sure. Um, let's get into some figures. So, before we get into these big lists, do you have any equipment that you've been looking at?
Well, the one thing I've been looking at all weekend is the Blast King Blade 12A. I'm almost done with my video. I got a little more little special touches I'm putting on it, but I feel like it's the best review I've ever done. The intro's really good. It's fire. And I want to send it to Ronan first and let him watch it. And then as long as he says, yeah, let it rip, then I'll set it live on YouTube, probably on Tuesday.
Yeah.
But
You
as far
should
as
ask.
as far as equipment goes, I am not really looking at much, honestly. Like Danny was telling me how he got some tube lights and that they're awesome, but I'm just not a big fan of those. So I haven't bought any tube lights. Oh, one thing I did want to get, well, I don't want to mention it like, well, there's no way she would see this. But anyway, I got a wedding in 2 weeks that I want to use. I want to use something special, but I don't want her to know about it. So I'll mention that later, or afterwards.
You've got a surprise.
Yeah,
James, surprise.
Yeah.
That's cool. No, hey, you're gonna. That the surprise is the bride is getting the surprise.
Yeah. She's actually a planner that's given us a bunch of work, and she asked me to DJ her wedding. So
there you go. That's the best.
I know. I'm a little nervous, man, because I'm like, God, there's going to be a lot of wedding professionals there. But I'm going to have to bring my A game for sure.
Yeah, I was looking at. You don't go to the wedding shows, do you?
We went to 2 this year. We went to one in the Woodlands, so it was like a smaller one, and then we went to we went to one wedding show. That was the one I was just talking about, and then we went to 2 open houses at venues. But yeah, we don't do a lot of that. No,
because I was looking at a thing on Facebook, and it was the DJ group thing, and somebody put up a post saying that it was like going to wedding shows now is like going to a DJ show.
Yeah,
so many of them there.
Yeah,
it was in Miami or something like that. I was like, it was just full. All it is now is just DJs everywhere. DJs everywhere.
The one wedding show we did, it was a smaller one. There were 4 DJ companies there. So by the end of it, everyone was like blasting, trying to like show what they can do. So we just turned our stuff off. We're like, what is the point? Like, I mean, it's like we all have speakers, and they know we have. So if they came over like to talk to us, then we would turn it up a little bit where they could hear it. But we weren't like blaring it because it was obnoxious.
No, well, that's it. It's like one of those. You need a big venue. You need a big setup for that, and it's like, yeah, that's not what that's supposed to be there for. I mean, it would be like, you need all those headphones that they use when they do a silent party,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Here's like you're at a race car and everybody or a football game. You're all wearing headsets with mics on them. So this is the equipment we like to use. Listen to this. This is like awesome. But yeah, so lots of DJs. I'm amazed they actually let you play music. Because so many of you, right? I mean, it's not like they're like, okay, this person is here and they're the ones doing all the music, and the rest of you can just look pretty in the corner. But hey, if they want to let her rip potato chip. That's right. That's cool. So let's talk about the main event of tonight's show, which is going to be speakers. So we have so many speakers.
Kelly's in the chat. She loves speakers.
She loves speakers. See, she's going, why can't you buy speakers like Robin, where he just looks at all the eye candy? Look at all the pretty pictures. Now, these are broken up into different sizes. So right off the hop, I'm going to be honest, none of these are bad speakers. Now, I might personally think that they're a little bit rich for the category, like they haven't price adjusted themselves yet, right?
Yeah.
Now, but we're going to see that when we look through this list. That some of them are just a little too, it's like, okay, a speaker can be $2,000. I'm not against that. And a speaker can be awesome and be like, $800. I'm not against that either.
Yeah.
And it's like the right person gets the right gear and they're going to be happy, right? That's all that matters. But sometimes you can see it's like, I think it's time they go back and look at that price a little bit because somebody's new on the market or something's changed. Now, we're also going to work our way to the 15-inch, and that's where the big surprises are changing right now. That's like the new stuff. Because, I mean, Everything else, we're going to go through the 8s and 10s. And we're going to look at, that's like the MLS 1000 that I have. I was talking and I was DMing somebody and I was like, you know what? I think they're the most awesome speaker you're going to buy if you're looking for a clean set of speakers. Like,
Yeah, I
so
agree.
they're so surprised the quality comes off of that speaker.
Yep.
And people talk about hissing and all. There is no hissing on the speaker. I mean, it's weird because I have other speakers from that company and they're 4 times more powerful. And of course they hiss because there's so much power. It's like having a diesel truck. It just
Yeah, that's a good analogy.
it's like this huge honking speaker that's got like so much power in it and it just wants to go.
Yeah.
But this speaker, it's got lots of power for its size and it's so quiet. It's like if you're, like you said, you do an indoor show, like somebody in their house, and they're asking you just to do like the background music. I know everybody calls it cocktail hour, but it's like, what the fuck is cocktail hour? I mean, if you're going into somebody's backyard and in their house for a 6-hour party during the daytime, it's not cocktail hour. It's like, I don't get what cocktail hour is. Describe to me what cocktail hour is, by the way. What part of my wedding was cocktail hour?
Cocktail hour is the hour after the ceremony when the ceremony, the most stressful part of the wedding's over. Everyone can relax, mingle, start talking, get a drink, hopefully 2 drinks. I've seen a lot of the New York guys have been saying that they're trying to extend cocktail hour to an hour and a half now because that gives the people more time to get an extra drink in. Then it loosens everybody up. You have dinner, you have another drink at dinner, whatever. Then it's time to let it rip on the dance floor. So it's just that 1 hour in between where they just bring out like hors d'oeuvres or like whatever, like little finger foods, little finger tacos, whatever, and people drink and socialize. And I love it because it gives us a time to reset because the ceremony is the most stressful part of a wedding. So after that goes smooth, and everything's good, they're married, everyone's happy. It's like, all right, good. We'll go, we go turn on our little cocktail hour speaker. Everybody starts mingling. Then we can go back to our setup, start going over the timeline. Okay, they're going to come in at this time. Then we got to do this formality and that formality. And, so I'm all for it. If they want to extend cocktail hour, I'm like, heck yeah, let's make it 2 hours. Whatever. It's all good.
So where do you like doing now weddings compared to corporates?
Yeah.
What do you prefer doing?
Well, it depends what you mean. Like, I prefer doing.
Like if you're doing I don't know if you've done it or not, but I'm just scenario like a corporate to me is whenever like to sit down. It's not a wedding,
right? Yeah. No, I've done plenty of those. Yeah, I've done plenty of those.
Special parties or golf tournaments or or like all that kind of stuff. Like
I did a 250 person corporate event for realtors last year in between 2 weddings, and I like those because they're a little easier. They're less stressful. You don't have as many formalities. You don't have. Most of the time, microphone wise, it's one microphone for somebody to talk on. It's nothing like serious. And like if something were to go wrong, it wouldn't be that big a deal. It'd be like, if your microphone exploded or whatever, you just be like, oh, here, you to take this one, and everybody would laugh and it would be fine. At a wedding, it's way more intense, because you're thinking yourself, oh, I'm going to ruin this girl's day or whatever. So, but I've never, thankfully, I've never had anything like that happen, but I'm just saying, but weddings, I like weddings as long as the couple is really cool and I vibe with them, because then it's like I'm partying with my friends. But, they all bring their challenges. I mean, weddings are where you make more money. And then the corporate parties, we typically get a little less than we do at weddings. But again, it's a lot less involved. Most of the time, too, corporate events are like max 4 hours, where weddings here in Texas, they're 5 hours on the short end, 7 hours on the long end. So it's a long freaking day, dude. It's a long day.
Yeah. No, that's it. Like, I mean, I don't do it because I don't DJ, right? So all I do is I just do corporate. So I'm just doing, I'm just a sound guy, just a tech guy that comes out, sets up. Like I tell people, I'll play background music.
Yeah.
Like you had a gig where you basically got to sit behind the stage and play music, and it was like, that's that's the extent, like you've got a street thing going on, you need speakers, all that set up. Great, no problem. You want to pay me to be there? I'll be there, make sure it all works and nobody steals anything. which literally means, I kid you not, aircraft cables to lampposts. It's like lock the equipment down. There you go. I dropped off equipment, set it up for the Humane Society, like for the animal. And it was a show we used to do and stay at, but I couldn't. So I said, well, no, I'll just come out. I'll do the setup for you. You guys babysit it. So I set up all the equipment. I set up remote speakers. This was a huge park. So I had everything set up in the gazebo for them to do their announcements, but it was so big. It was like a city block by city block. I had to put remote speakers out and then broadcasted those speakers. And then I said, yeah, just make sure that, people keep an eye on it, right? This power was so I came back, the park was deserted. I came back at like 6-7 o'clock at night. I said, I'll come, because we had to run the store that day. So I set up before, did my day, ran the store all day. Then I went after the store, and I said, just make sure there's people with the equipment after the show's over, because the show was over at 6. I'll be here at 7. No problem. I showed up at the park. Nobody in the park. Everybody was gone, and there's like $5,000 worth of equipment just sitting around.
God.
I'm going, oh my fucking God, I can't fucking believe it. So I get there, and it's like nobody was even there to say, hey, Robin, hey, how's it going? No, I went, I can't believe this. And I said an awful lot of shit. And then I packed everything up, and I went, I'm not doing this ever again for the, put everything in the car. I didn't lose anything. And I was like, oh, fuck.
I had a couple events last year that I was like, oh my God, I'm never doing this again. Like one, I did this giant hotel wedding, and it was the one I told you about. And I had I had like 2 column arrays plus 2 15-inch tops, 2 18-inch subwoofers. And I did it all by myself. And I was like, I will never do an event like this by myself again. I have to have an assistant with me. Like, this is insane. I was ready to die at the end of that event. Like, just shoot me, put me out of my misery. Like, I was like, no, you know what I was, when the event ended, I was like, I was seriously contemplating, I'm just going to tell the hotel, just keep all my shit. I don't even want it. I'm just going home. I'm just going to drive home.
That's it. It's over.
Yeah.
So now that we've talked about some of the crazy things we can do with speakers, let's look at speakers and go googly eyes over them. So what we're going to start with is we're going to start with the 8s and 10s. These are speakers that, you're going to use in a small venue size. Again, I don't have any grief with any of these speakers, again, when it comes to speakers themselves. Now, when you do research on stuff, you start realizing that you hear other people's opinions. Like PV, I never sold PV because they just never fit in. And I had no grief on them. But it turns out a lot of people think they're the entry-level product. Oh, PV, that's, and I'm going, I didn't know that. But here we are, the very first column array we're going to look at. And look, they call it a column array. So
yep.
I searched the bejesus out of that. I have a chart that, it shows how many different names these speakers get called. And again, if you can't see the drivers, you don't know what you're looking at. So we can't say that they're making up stuff. So let's see. Is there a picture of the driver? No. It's all, you know what this looks like? It looks like the Avante. It looks.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, it looks like the Harbinger. It has that Harbinger feel to it, Oh, look, unlike the new Electro-Voice speaker, they actually have nice little silver metallic switches on it, not these little plastic toggly light switches from the 1970s. I did tell you that. My wife, I showed that to my wife, and she goes, "What is this, for the 1970s? What, did they go out of their way?" Yeah, they go out of their way. I mean, some people like it because they like the open top but whew. But so now this is pretty straightforward as the speaker goes, and there's absolutely, again, nothing wrong with it, because for $699 you get a very nice looking speaker. Again, if they made it in white, it'd probably be a little bit more popular, but again, it depends on where you're using it.
Yeah, I never heard of that one.
No,
I didn't know PV had a column array until you brought this up. So
yeah, this is their 10-inch. It's their 6x3 on top, and it's got a very nice look to it. I'm not displeased by it, but it's not going to be for something for a DJ. It's a cocktail hour. If we're going to say with DJ concept, it's definitely a cocktail hour type speaker.
Yeah, exactly.
It is in the same realm as the Harbinger, But see, this is the difference. This is a retail company, okay? So it means you've got the manufacturer and all the people that have to make the product. Then they're going to sell it to either distributor or direct to the retailer. In this case, direct to the retailer would have been where it went because it's a Guitar Center. And Guitar Center's got to make money. So everybody's got to make money underneath that. So that's at least 2 to 3 layers of money making going on. That makes this speaker $699. Right next to it, oh, there you go. Why is it $50 more? It's not on sale. You know why? This, in Canada, we'd say this is like Canadian Tire. In the States, if you still had Sears, I'd say this is like Sears. You don't buy it unless it's on sale.
Yeah.
Because by law, it has to be regular price every once in a while. And it also lets them sell off the used gear. But we've seen this on sale for as cheap as $4.99? $5.99 is a good price. But I think if you really hold out, right, you're down to $4.99 on this thing.
Are you talking about the Harbinger? Because on the screen.
Sorry. Share.
I was going to say, yeah, the screen, you still had the PB on there.
If I start talking about another speaker, tell me to share if you don't see it.
Yeah, so, you guys in the comments, let us know if y'all have owned any of these or if you've seen anybody with these speakers. Because
let's before I badmouth it, put down your speakers. Put down your favorite speaker in the list right now. So this way, we can poke at you when we get there because that's important. So this is the Harbinger, $749.
Yeah, that's expensive, man. Even
that's retail. That's retail.
Well, it was $699 retail when I bought mine, and yeah, they went on sale for $499. When it went on sale for $499, I was like, dude, even if this speaker sucks, I gotta try it. I was like, it's only $500, I want to see. Plus, I saw Travis McGuire's review on it, from a long time ago, and he said they were great. And I know just from social media that he's an EDM DJ, so I'm like, well, if he's an EDM DJ, he's gotta love bass, So I was like, let me give these things a shot. So I only bought one because I was skeptical, And I brought it home and tested it. I did the review video on YouTube, and immediately I went to Guitar Center and bought another one because I was like, man, I love this thing. It's awesome. I think it's a great speaker.
Oh yeah. So I mean, like I said, I'm so lucky to have a pair of these, and they are absolutely amazing. And anything $599 or less for these speakers is an absolute steal for what you're getting, because you have to spend so much to achieve this from full-on retail. And when they talk about UL safeties and, how easy it is to get fixed and, can I get parts for it? What can I do with this? This speaker is no better, if not easier, than some of the big brand names, because it's serviced and represented right away when you go in the store. It's like, this is the most important thing to them, is to make sure that this is looked after. So it's a really good product for that. So, and if you're not looking one to break the bank, or you're not looking for a set of primary DJing speakers, so this is for your smaller setups. This is if you need a remote speaker, if you need a speaker, if you're buying a system to go to smaller gigs, if you're doing like weddings that are 50 to 65 because of where you live, and you're never doing school events, because like, who was the guest you had on Wednesday?
This past Wednesday, I had on God, my
oh my God, I pulled that one up.
My memory.
He was so awesome, by the way. He was a great guy.
Oh, Skibbs, yeah, DJ Skibbity, yeah, Skibbs.
He was great. That guy is right on the ball, and like he said, he's buying the K2s because he has to buy a set of speakers that are going to fill all his needs.
Yeah,
because he's not in the market, and the realism in his conversation about, just because there's a new shiny thing over there doesn't mean to run out and buy it, because there's nothing wrong with the thing I have now.
Oh, that's what I'm saying. He is like the absolute complete 100% opposite of me. He was like, dude, I'm still using stuff from 13 years ago. I'm like, good God, I wasn't even DJing 13 years ago, but like, that's awesome. So that's good for him, man. Like, he doesn't have that sickness that we have, where it's like, ooh, this new thing come out, I gotta have it.
Yeah. If it ain't broken, don't need to fix it. It's like, it's such a super statement. And the fact that it's like, he doesn't even bother separating his investment because the amount of work he gets and at the bill rate he's charging for, and look at the travel points he's doing. I mean, again, this is not the East Coast shows where that, like the bigger DJs are doing and saying, oh, they're still doing 500 wedding plus gigs, which is awesome. Great for them. And, they've chosen to be a top tier, price point DJ, which you can be if you're in a market where you've got, 17, 18, 19, 20 million people as your market.
Yeah.
It's like if I was doing all the DJ work here, this is not the same market as being just down the road in Toronto where you're catering to, 9 million people, right? Even though I'm part of it, I'm just on the edge of all that. And it's like, I'm too lazy to drive an hour to go do a gig. It's like, I don't want to go that far. So, but I mean, that's the differences, right? Mm-hmm. So in a real world, you're making buying decisions, especially if you've got a big set and you're going, you know what? I don't need to take that big set out all the time. I've got some extra money. I'm looking for an alternative for my big set that I use at the weddings to something I can use on smaller events. This might be an option. Now, another good speaker to have as an option, we're going to go over. This is if this one here, if you're into pretty, and I mean, I have to say it's got to have bass on it, but this is the right place to buy this. This is called an LD System Maui 5 Ultra Portable Column PA speaker that you can buy at a legitimate retailer and not worry about it. So if you're looking at this and Guitar Center Musician Friend and Sweetwater, these are definitely places you want to buy your LD systems. You could go to a local store. If you've got a local guy, a company who's selling it, who's there all the time, who's, your dad used to go shopping there, and it's like, I want to keep that guy in business. Go see that guy. That's but I mean, you want to buy products like this at somewhere where you can trust it. Now, at the same time, I have to give kudos. I love this product. I love their shit.
That's because you haven't heard it.
You have this?
I had the LD Systems Maui 5 Go, which is the battery powered version of that, and that speaker fucking sucked. It was like the Harbinger wipes that fucking floor with that speaker. I don't know why it's so bad because I love all the other LD Systems products. But I took that one and I literally traded it in back. I sold it to Guitar Center. I had 2 extra batteries. I had the cases and the speaker, and I sold it all to them used for like $380. I was willing to take that because I was like, this speaker sucks, bro. And I bought the MLS, my second MLS 1000 with that, trading that in.
I'm impressed. See, there you go.
But Buddy, and he's in the chat, TBM Productions, Buddy, he loves those things. So I don't know if I just got a bad one or what, but I'm telling you, the bass, it's got an 8-inch subwoofer on it. There's no bass at all. No bass. Like, I've had like some like cheap like party speakers, Bluetooth speakers in my house that had better bass than that Maui that I had. And I mean, I thought it was terrible.
Go back to Guitar Center and listen to one there. I mean, I've seen
products. They didn't have any there.
No, I've seen it where, and I'm not pointing to anything to anyone, but I've seen it where drivers are seized or something's not right. They factory made it, they factory tested it, and then they shipped it, and somehow in shipping, shit went sideways.
Yeah, maybe.
But I mean, hey, that's the whole point. That's why there's 20 speakers in this fucking show.
Yeah. Well, no. Then that's why, I love it because you give your opinion, I give my opinion. And again, guys, these are just opinions. It doesn't mean they're right or wrong. This is just what we think, and you can.
I'm not burning any down,
Yeah. No, I love LD. I think LD makes the best column array speakers, period. The Maui 44G2 is my favorite column. Of course, I don't own one, but Danny does. And I hear him all the time when I go to weddings with him. And I think they're the hands down the best columns out there. Yeah. But I don't know what happened on this one specifically. I don't, like I said.
I think feature wise and the way people talk about it, and it's you know, when you take you got to take top out and the bottom out, and you know what, you're gonna have people that aren't happy, and that's cool. You didn't work out for you, but generally, if you're the right person buying the speaker. So like again, I look at this and I think of customers that I used to come to my store. I had a lot of aerobics instructors that would come in. I would have a lot of people that did yoga and wanted to play music, and they literally take stuff like to the park, right? So there's lots of people that are, you know, they do presentations. The guy selling the pots and pans at Costco, right?
Yeah.
And you know, people that like I had a guy who managed a young couple. He put them together. He was his little, and they were used for all the snobby affairs. They sang like jazz, they sang like stuff like that, and they would go and they would sing at private parties at people's homes.
Mm-hmm.
Snobs. It's not bad enough that these two kids, they had a manager. This guy, he goes, I put them together. I go, dude. But he came in my store. He used to come in my store and buy like some shit. Like, I mean, some nice. It had to sound good, but it had to look super nice. He goes, oh no, we're going to a show tonight. No, how's that? Oh, okay. You're going to one of those. Yes, we're going to this. It's a catered restaurant where they only serve for the guests when they come. So it's like it's a curated meal just for them. It's like, oh, yeah. So, anyways, but yeah. So if it has to sound as good as it looks, they really put a lot of attention into form, figure, and design.
Yeah, have you seen the LD system? I know we're getting off track here already, but have you seen the LD systems? The one that they developed with Porsche. It was, I forget what it's called, the Maui P900 or something like that. Dude, it's a beautiful speaker, but it's like
we have
$5,000.
Called, what is it called? It is called the emergency. Basically it's the extreme category.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, yes, it is. It is like
God,
when
buddy.
you don't look at money. When money's not something you're going to look at, and you're like, you know, you DJ because you just want to. It's like, I'm tired of driving my Ferrari around. I want to do something new.
Mm-hmm.
So this. So next on our list of, this is just for us to get warmed up here. So here we got a Mackie. This is called the SRM Flex Portable. Again, this is not meant to rock your boat. You know, this is not going to relocate your furniture in any way, shape, or form. Again, just like Alto, I think they could have done better because they're stuck with that $899 price point. I mean, that's quite the hefty price point for this speaker. And I'm just trying to think of, you know, you're looking at 10-inch. You're competing against, and you're competing against in this category. If you're selling in the U.S., why even get? I mean, you kind of have to hope that the customer doesn't walk into a Guitar Center and actually listen to an MLS 1000.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I would have a hard time spending $899 for this speaker, which has a 10-inch woofer in it, right? And it's pretty much very similar in concept, design, form, figure. You know, it's like all of these are pretty much cookie cutter. It's like you can't say that one is better or worse than the other. I can't see that. That's a horrible picture. There we go. You know, it looks the same. It's a different color. It may do a couple little different things. It may even have an app to it. I don't know. But it's no more, no less than what we've seen so far from some of these other companies where you have an opportunity saving hundreds of dollars. So what do you think of Mackie speakers?
I mean, I just only have seen them online. Like, I've never heard them personally, so I don't know. I mean, I don't like black and green. I don't like their color scheme. But I do have their little Mackie mobile mix. I tried using that for ceremonies a while back, and then before I was using the Everse 8 with all of its functionality, I was actually using the Mackie mobile mix and the LD Systems Maui 5 Go for my ceremonies, and I was happy to get rid of all that. Just use the Everse 8. But as far as the mixer is great. You know, the little mobile mix I have is great, and I was using that also during COVID, or right after COVID and stuff. I was using that for going live on TikTok and DJing. I was using that little mobile mix, you know, connected into my phone. But as far as their speakers go, man, I don't know nothing about them. Like I said, I've never heard them live, and I've just seen them online, and they're just one of those companies. Like I've never heard Mackie, I've never heard QSC, I've never heard. There's a few brands out there that I've never really heard. JBL, I've never. Well, no, I do. I have a JBL PRX1, but yeah, there's just a few of those brands out there, that I haven't heard that much, and Mackie's one of them.
Yeah, no, Mackie's either somebody sells it or they don't. Like, but I just, I thought there'd be so many more stores in the States that would just have a wall of all these speakers.
No, like, I mean, Guitar Center has a nice little selection, but they don't have like everything. You know what I mean? They just have like the brands that they like or whatever. And like as far as column arrays, they don't have any of these column arrays. Like all the Guitar Centers around me, they all have like the Bose L1 Pro 16. They all have the QSC KC12. They all have, but they don't have the EV 90s and 70s. They don't have like all the big stuff. They don't have like for you to check it out.
It's weird, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I put this here, and it's not actually a column array or a line array or any type of array. It's just a portable subwoofer with a point source speaker on it. This happens to be a mixer package, but I have it. I have two of them. I have a nice set. I have to say they're pretty badass if you're just looking for something easy to connect, because to be honest, when you put the M20 subwoofer pole on there, you set it up, and you realize you're not that far from a lot of these entry level column arrays. I mean, it's a point source system, right. But I mean, basically you got a bass module, which is a true subwoofer, this subwoofer sounds better than anything in the 10-inch class, that's for sure. It sounds better than most 10s and 15s after that. So it's very, very impressive. It's too bad they didn't think more about making a column array out of that bass module. Because if they would have just whipped a pole off of that, like standing up vertical like that, and just stuck a stick on top of it, it would have been like, oh, man.
Yeah, guys in the chat are saying they love Mackies, and Buddy said Mackie thumbs. Tons of DJs love them. Yeah, I'm sure. I mean, I'm sure.
They're seriously they're a solid contender for a lot of people. And like I said, when you get up in their lineup, when you start moving off their stage 1 speakers, and you move into the stage 2 stuff, holy shit, as that stuff really, that's where the surprises really start to happen. So now we're going to move into a whole new category of speakers. This is so exciting. We're going to the 12-inch now. Now's where the money really starts to crank up.
Well, yeah, and that's where like every speaker company's made at least one 12-inch.
They want to be there. This is what they've spent the last 5-6 years.
That's a great damn price for that speaker, man. I got to be honest. I mean, it wasn't my favorite speaker just from the way it sounded, but it's a good speaker, and it gets you a lot of volume. So with two of these J8s for what, $2,000? Because I mean, 2 EXOTONs, if you get the white ones, is going to run you about $1,400, $1,500 for only about $600 more. And if you get these like open box or like on sale, or if you contact a rep, I'm sure you can get them a little cheaper. I mean, those are that's a hell of a deal for 2 of those RCF Evox J8s, and you could easily do up to 200 people weddings with those, no issue at all. But I just didn't like them personally.
Well, I think if you're standing either in the back of a wedding party or at the front of the wedding, right? Yeah. Like I'm talking like during the party portion of it, if you're standing close to a DJ and you have these speakers, people don't like the whole pole idea. But the thing about the pole is that you can get it over everybody's head. You can get that speaker above 6 feet. So this way it's not slamming into anybody up front. So if anybody's standing 3 to 6 feet from the speaker, isn't getting pummeled. And at the same time, people ask me all the time, what's the golden rule about how high should I put my speakers on the stands when they're talking about their point source? Yeah. I say, if you can't see it from the back of the room, you can't hear it. So if you only have 6 people, if you're at home, then set them up on the floor, set them up as stage monitors. You don't need to put them in the air. Let them reflect off the wall. Mm-hmm. But if you're going out and you need to travel some distance and there's lots of people between the back and the front, you better get some height on those speakers. So this allows you to get that speaker up. And yes, I agree with you. I mean, when they talk about all the things that need to happen to make sure sure that you're going to be happy, joy. And again, let's go back to the, 2 is 1, 1 is none concept, which is, never go to a show with one speaker.
Yeah.
Even if your intention is to only set up one speaker, it's a small show, you need a second one. And just like you said at the beginning of the show, somebody had an EXOTON and that EXOTON went down.
Yeah.
And then my biggest worry is, can you do the show with only one EXOTON? That's what you got to ask yourself. Can I do this with only one speaker? Now, what would you say if you had an RCF and by some godforsaken reason your Evox J8 went down? Would you still be able to do a show with one speaker for the size weddings you do? So I'm not talking about everybody. I'm just talking about you, because you do entry to mid-size weddings.
Yeah.
So you do more than the backwood country size wedding of 50 to 75 people. You're doing 50 to 150 people on average, I'm assuming, based on
right? Most of mine, are between 100 and 200 people. But no, with one of those, you could do the show. I mean, you would just have to explain to the people, like, hey, man, one of my speakers went down. I'm sorry. And that one would carry it. It wouldn't be as loud, I'm guessing, as they would like. But I mean, for sure, you can get the amount of sound that comes out of one of those J8s. You could blast a hall with easily. I mean, it pumps out a lot of sound. Again, I just didn't like the way it was tuned and the way it sounded. I like the EXOTON. It's more warm. I like the warm sounding speakers. Like the Maui 44s, I think, are really warm. The EXOTONs are really warm. And that J8, for you to get a decent amount, and I'm a bass head, and so to get a decent amount of bass out of that thing, you have to crank it so loud that the tops, like the 2 weddings that I took the J8s to, the first wedding I took it to, we started open dancing and I had them cranked to where the bass was pumping and I could feel it a little bit. And after like 20 minutes, the bride came up to me and she was like, hey, is it possible? Can you turn these down? And I was like, yeah, of course. I was like, of course I can. I was like, I'll turn them down for you. And so, I just turned down the volume some, but I had them so loud so that it was, I guess, she didn't like it or whatever. So, but I just, like I said, I don't find them personally to like if I was going to take 2 J8s, I would take another subwoofer with me, and that defeats the whole purpose. I don't really want to have to do that. So.
There you go. By the way, in the comments, let us know if you bring subwoofers out with you, or you'd like to bring a subwoofer out with you. If you're doing your gigs with or without subwoofers, and if you don't, maybe you might want a subwoofers if that happens. Now, our next speaker.
Interesting thing too, I wanted to talk to you about. I don't want to get off track again. Maybe we can do it at the end of these column array discussion. But I saw Buddy posted in a Facebook page, the same guy that I told you at the beginning of the show that blew up one of his EXOTONs. Well, at that exact same wedding, he brought an 18-inch subwoofer separately with him with the 2 EXOTONs. And Buddy told him in the comments that it was pointless. To bring a third subwoofer is silly. He's like, you either bring the same matching subwoofer and couple it with the EXOTONs, or don't bring the third one. And so I wanted to ask you about that, because I would have brought it too. I didn't know that was a thing or whatever.
Yeah, I have a stack right here beside me, just because, I'm trying shit out. And scientifically, mathematically, statistically, the way things work is I right now have an Alto TS18 subwoofer with a Mackie 8/8 subwoofer stacked on top of it, acting as a sandwich. And on top of that, I have a V4415. And holy fucking shit. Now that thing absolutely pounds. Now, I did do some tests on it, because, see, just because something's statistically, mathematically, scientifically going to work doesn't mean that it still sounds good, right? Okay, yes, all this works. We can do that. But so I did some sound level checks. So it's like, what did I first of all think of it? I thought it was like, whoa, this is awesome. But then I'm going, am I missing anything? So I checked it just with the 18, then I checked it with just the actual 8/8s, and then I went and brought them both in, and then I dialed them each back individually. And then I just did some pressure tests with my phone just to see what acoustically it sounded like. And we weren't losing anything. And because the speakers are actually not the same, and they're pumping slightly, even though they're receiving the same signal, they're not playing it exactly the same, right? So I'm not talking about time delay. I'm talking about how they process the sound, how they use their own internal DSPs to create the sound. And it's just basically adding to it. And because they're not the same in this case, and two, there's no difference between the way you would treat a point source speaker with a subwoofer and a column array or line array with a subwoofer, to the point that Bose sells a Bose subwoofer to go with their bass modules, because they're not, when you buy a Bose system with, it's not, everybody calls it a subwoofer, but it's a bass module. And then they sell a subwoofer separate for that, so you can add it to the whole mix. So no, and two, it allows you to change the setting on a speaker. You're not so dedicated to the bassy drops. Like, you can dial back a little bit, get more out of your speaker, and let the subwoofer carry the heavy lifting.
Well,
let
that's
the subwoofer do it.
That's what shocked the shit out of me, is that, like, he said he blew the EXOTON subwoofer in the EXOTON column array at this wedding, even though he had a ProRec 18-inch subwoofer. So I was like, why were you pushing the EXOTON so hard if you had an 18-inch?
Happens all the time.
That's just crazy. So I got to get more information from him.
I had a guy who was running 4 Alto TS series on top, 415s, and he blew 2 or 3 tweeters before he realized he was blowing tweeters, because he had enough fill-in that he didn't realize that he was distorting. Like, 2 of them were collapsing on him, like distorting, and he couldn't tell because the other 2 were keeping everything up. And same thing, if you have a good subwoofer and it's pounding away and you're turning up the volume, you're not hearing the fact that your other 2 subs are now distorting, because the other one is just overwhelming those 2. Yeah. And then you normally would have heard, and you would have said, "Ooh, shit, man, that's getting pretty fluttery. That sub's farting like crazy," and then you dial it back a bit, right?
Yeah.
So, everybody knows what we're talking about. Oh yeah, there you go. You're going, oh yeah, that's a great sounding sub. Yeah. So, but yeah, it usually happens when something else is going on. But man, he must have been having one show if he brought that. Some people have weddings, and then the playlist, you go looking at, you're talking to the bride and groom, and they're showing you the playlist, and you're going, I like these people. I like the music they're picking. This is some serious shit.
Well, he said it was 250 people. He said it was 250 people, and it was his cousin or his nephew or something that was getting married. So he really wanted to bring a big bass heavy show or whatever. But hey, buddy, maybe y'all should do a show on this, man, and like educate us, because like he said, no, not the way he was using it. He was adding phasing to his sound. So I don't even know what that means. Like, I really need to like watch some like sound, like educational videos or something. Because like,
you know what? Whenever somebody comes up with, and you know what, people, especially in DJ terms, stuff like that, like I learned a lot of extra stuff by watching guys who do shows I never would do, like concert size venues that you have to change the language text so this way you can read it, because they're talking German or something. And it's like the conversation is so interesting and so above my pay grade at the time, right? Yeah. And it's like, like I tell people ask me, oh, how'd you learn everything? One piece at a time. There was a time when I didn't know what a fucking phantom power was. I'm like, what does this button do? I remember that. And I remember where I got the answer for that. I Googled it on YouTube. And some 12-year-old kid educated me. And I went, I really got to make these fucking videos. So, but, all right,
yeah. You can start, bring up the next speaker or whatever. I can still hear you in my, I got to run rules. I'll be right back. But I can still hear you. It's wireless. Remember,
okay, so don't talk shit about you. Don't talk shit about him. Don't.
Yeah,
okay,
no,
Ron, don't talk
no,
shit
I'll
about
hear
him.
it for sure.
All right. We're gonna still, we still got to mock him though. I wonder where he's going. He must have to blow his nose. We're going to go with that. So, yeah, let's talk about the next speaker. James is in here. Oh, my gosh. Okay, so we got a Yamaha speaker. He's going to miss out on, like, the one and only Yamaha speaker here. That's the crazy part. So, let's... it's Yamaha. Anytime I talk about Yamaha, it's going to be a conversation about basically the most high performance snobbiest speakers you're going to see, because they're really, really good. They So JTech to P. You think he's got to go P? Come on, he's not going for a P. Yeah, he wouldn't be doing that. That's silly. Who would break a show? Can you imagine watching it? I'm Walter Cronkite. This is CBS News, and I have to go for a pee. Yes. His kids to bedtime. His kids' bedtime, 10 o'clock. You think he's going to put his kids to bed? I don't know. We'll ask him when he went back. Usually they're not shy, which that makes a pretty family-friendly show about that. Yeah. Oh, look, he's back. He's back. So what was it? Was it you had to get your kids good night? Is that so? We're not going to see your kids show up in 20 minutes. That's going to happen.
It's only 9 o'clock here, so they're not going to bed yet. No, it was definitely. I've been drinking quite a bit. I had to go pee, man. It was bad. There you go. My eyeballs were floating. I was trying to hold it.
Well, everybody there we go. So I didn't want to talk about the one and only Yamaha speaker we had here for the night because that's the only thing they make. So it was like, okay. So I'm gonna make this a full screen here for me. So this way,
I've always wanted to hear the Yamahas because I love the Yamaha mixer. I think it's great, but I've never heard a Yamaha speaker. I'd love to hear it personally.
I mean, every time that I didn't sell Yamaha because I mentioned this before. Yamaha had a buy-in program, and it was too rich for me. So at the time, so I never, you can't, you want to sell everything, and if budgets let you, then you do. It's hard. Like, you want to have everything in your store. And this is a brand that I wanted, but I didn't have enough financially, and I didn't want to get into credit with, because you can always get a credit, and it's like, line of credit. And it's like, you buy in 60 days, blah, blah, blah. But, no, their stuff. I always say, they're the pinnacle they're like the Mercedes of products. They might not always be the prettiest thing out there, but they're probably going to be the quality of sound the best. Really? So again, I'm not saying they're the bassiest. I'm not saying they're the looking, but I'm going to say, if you're looking for if you're looking for a speaker for Adele to sing into while she's playing piano at your house, this is the speaker you're going to set up next to the piano.
Wow, that's high praise.
That's but again, I'm not saying that, it's what they're shooting for. That's their goal, right? Yeah. I mean, that's their target as a company. Everybody's going to have an opinion on it. But like I said, if you're just looking for that really refined piece of gear, because to be honest, it's got nothing to it. It is like the most 10-year-old column array you're ever going to see. I'm serious. I mean, it's like really boring. It's like got lots of inputs on it, lots of plugs. Look at they don't even. It's like I'm going. It's no different than the MLS 1000, but wow, what a price difference!
Yeah,
it's $1,500.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it's got a 12 driver in it, and it's got more power, so it definitely has more volume to it. But it's quite the product. So we'll leave it at that to say that I've covered Yamaha. There it is. Check the box.
Any of you guys in the comments, y'all ever heard the Yamahas? Because that'd be interesting. I mean, I know the Angry Sound Nerd. I used to watch all his videos, and I think that's his name. He's a white guy, and he comes on there. He always wears a hat, and he has a beard. But anyways, he always talked about the Yamaha's stage pass, and he bought all the different column arrays. And anyways,
it's if you're into the nice stuff. Now this is here again. We're going into this. This is super popular because people of my age, my generation, my age, bought into Bose like big time. Why do you think a bunch of guys who used to be in rock bands and still party with their buddies and still go out and do gigs and sit there and play Eric Clapton on the weekends and show up at these, and most of the guys that I knew that would buy this did shows for, I'm going to say, a whole whopping free.
Yeah.
They would play at Legion Halls, retirement community centers. They would they play for a lot of play. They go down to the marina and they would play at the restaurant at the marina. Like, I mean, and they're all very good. They all play guitar. They all play like classic rock stuff from like, the late 60s, early 70s. I mean, stuff that you sit there and can play during dinner time. You're going, shit, man, that's awfully nice. It's like nothing turned up crazy out. Why? Because they would all come in and go, I ain't buying those fucking big speakers anymore. I'm not putting a speaker on a stand. And they would all come in and buy this stuff. And in Canada, this is a $2,000 buy-in. Yeah. And they're coming in, they're for two of them. And they're doing this for free work. They're doing this just as, you know what? I just don't want to carry all that big stuff around. And this is like going back 5-6 years ago, So, I mean, Bose really, really put themselves in the right place at the right time. And unfortunately, the same rules apply. Their products sound beautiful, by the way. But just like Ford, found on road dead, they have their own saying for their name. Bose. If it's got no highs, it's got little lows. It's got to be Bose. The jingle we used to sing in the store. Because you came in with these massive expectations, and it sounds really nice. And if you're an acoustic, if you play in a band and you're not going to pound the shit out of it, it's going to sound absolutely beautiful. And for everybody else, you need a subwoofer. Like, you can DJ with them, but you need a sub. So much so, like, they sell a sub to add on to their products. And again, like I said, this is their second generation of product. Their first generation was basically to get rid of all the speakers on a stage. That was their claim to fame. There's a video from 25 years ago where they basically showed a original version of this. And I think it was back then, it wasn't called the L1. I think it was called the, what was it called originally? I think it was something like a P1 or something like that. Anyways, and they would hide them behind these big curtain walls, and everybody would play, and then they drop the curtain and show these long columns that they have for them in the back. And it's just this, like 32 or 64 drivers going from floor to ceiling. And again, absolutely amazing technology, beautiful for a band, kind of rough, in my opinion, for DJ. What do you have Bose, right? You have Bose.
Yeah, I have the Bose 01 Pro 16s. I have a pair of those. I need to review them and get them on my channel as well, because that is going to be a fun video. I already pissed off all the RCF guys. So my next thing was, do I piss off the JBL guys or the Bose people? Like, which one will get me more clicks and more haters?
Right, so. The 16's on this list. It's not actually in this category because it doesn't even, to me, the one you have is in the next category. So we're going to say what you see. James is going to speak from experience and personal opinion, where I is an overall, my job is to serve as many people. So this way, when everybody comes in and they come in with their story, I can help find them 3 speakers that might work for them. Yeah, that's my job. My job is not to have a love-hate for all the speakers, because that would, it's like saying I don't like, everybody comes in with a pair of Nikes and it's like, I hate fucking Nikes. But here, why these they're really good, or the Reeboks. No, why does everybody like that, So, but see, you've got an opinion. It's coming. You're in the next big speakers.
It's coming, and hell's coming with me.
Whole time I haven't been sharing the speaker. Have I not shown the Bose L1s this whole time? Nobody could tell. People are going, why is he still in the Yamaha? I just shared it now. So sorry, I've been fluffing up this speaker right here. So now we've seen it for all of 2 seconds. Let's move on. Now remember, at the very beginning of this, I said all of this is because we're shopping for features and price points for our own speaker, which has a code name right now of Leviathan. So it's a Leviathan. So it's got a code name, secret code name. Don't tell anybody. Anyways, but that's the prototype engineering name for the project is Leviathan. And the whole idea is to figure out where we want the speaker to sit and how do we make it at the right price so people buy it. Like, I mean, making this fucking speaker, nobody buying it, doesn't matter how good it is. If, we have to make that happen. So next, here it is. This is the same pretty much. This is pretty much the same as the what's it? The 8, the other one that we had. Except this one's called a Mix 8. So is it because it has more? It has a mixer on the back of it. I think that's why. This is because of this, isn't it?
Right now, you're on the Bose L1 Pro 8.
Oh, now let's do this the right way. This is the RCF Evox J Mix 8.
Oh,
My
okay.
apologies.
Well, on the screen it's showing the Bose L1 Pro. Oh wait, no, sorry, I was lagging.
I refreshed it. No, it did. Yeah. You were right. Let's not mislead anybody. Everybody was right, including James. Once again, for the third time tonight, I've had the wrong speaker on the screen for the conversation.
It's all good.
So yeah, so this is called the RCF Evox J Mix 8. And it's got like a badass EQ system to it. I'm sure it's got a great app and all these other things with it, because for that price, if it didn't have an app, I'd be very upset about it. But the important part is it is a 12-inch and it fits in this pretty solid class. And again, if you owned one or two of these, perfect. I wonder if you can buy one of these and one of their others and it would work. Like the only reason I could see you buying this one is because you want that mixer.
Yeah, like for ceremonies and stuff, you could use it to plug all your mics into and everything, and you wouldn't have to bring a separate mixer. I could see that working. I think Aaron Strawn did that originally when that first came out. I think he had one of those and one normal one. But yeah,
because I'd have to see these in the same room, same size. But so like I'm looking, we bounce back to the original one we're looking at, this RCF here, right? I wonder how similar from the front is this to this one. It looks pretty. Yeah, it looks the same. Looks the same from the front. Yeah, let's share this one. So now there's the Mix 8. So yeah, I'm gonna say they look the same. You're paying $500 for the mixer.
Yep, pretty much.
Yeah, pretty much. Okay, we're gonna agree on that. And again, I have no problems with RCF. I think they're good, solid workhorse speaker, and I think that's their intention in life. So the next speaker, because we talked so much about the first one, let's just get to the next one. Another brand that we haven't seen yet tonight, QSC KC12 for $2,000.
Guy in the chat, DJ Nuno, his favorite column array. DJ Nuno.
I mean, it's got to be badass. Now, see, this is it right here. It gives it away right up here. Like, you don't really tell how big this is. Like, that does not look very big, but on that top, there's two 4-inch. Well, actually, that's why, because it's not. So it's two 4-inch and a tweeter. This is, you know what? I could easily put this in my other column. I could put this in two columns. This could be here and in the next section that you know what? I'm going to slide this over afterwards.
Yeah, because it's a 3-way.
It's a 3-way. So this, I don't want to say the words. I was saving it for the next segment, but this qualifies for the next segment, and I'll tell you about that, and then we'll talk about why this qualifies. Because if I would have seen that, I would have moved it over. I'm going to move it over after this, and we're going to save for there. But this is definitely a badass performance speaker. This is, I have to say, by design, probably one of the best designed speakers for DJing with at a wedding. Now,
cool.
I think the price is still a little rich, though.
Yeah,
but that's QSC. QSC is a premium brand. Again, I don't know if it's like Mercedes, where if you go to Europe, it's cheaper than it is here. Sometimes brands are not the same price everywhere. Depends on where you shop in the world.
Yeah,
but that is that's a very Canadian price tag for that product. And it's no, it's true. I mean, things are disproportionate here. Sometimes,
I know they're more expensive there. Is that your price or American price? American, because it's $2,000 American.
It's American price. These are all U.S.
Okay.
I don't bother. I make sure I have U.S. accounts for everything. So, but yeah, no, this is American price, and it's on sale actually. Ooh,
oh my God,
$200. It's $19.99 instead of $21.99.
Nuno and J-Tech are like getting me all hype in the comments. Y'all gotta convince Kelly, not me. Y'all gotta convince Kelly. They're saying, James, please review these. And then Nuno said, my wife said no more speakers when she heard the KC12s. She was like, okay, you can buy this one.
Yeah.
What's up, Mikey Mike? Thanks for joining, buddy.
I think if it's not there yet, I think by the fall this will be a $14.99 speaker. I think it'll be on sale $1,500. I think the problem in the U.S. right now, it's holding all these prices are all higher than they were originally, or higher than they were expected to be, because of
Tariffs.
the tariffs that are getting
Yeah.
handed down to you guys so fucking bad. Tariffs are killing you.
Yep.
Tariffs are just ripping the average person so much money. Because think about it, if you were to discount the speaker 35%, that would be $700. Now they
Yep.
say that doesn't all make it to the retail price, but that's pretty solid shit. Did my doorbell just ring? So did your doorbell ring, or was that my doorbell?
It wasn't mine. Ours doesn't work.
Okay, no problem. I don't know if they hear shit and I go, what's so so yeah, I mean, this, like I said, if you guys lost your tariffs altogether, I think that you would at least see this speaker permanently come down by a few $100s easy. But and some companies are more paranoid than others, right? Some companies are willing to eat it, thinking that they're going to get the money back if they can sue or go against the government later on, because it's not fair. And so they're banking on that. Other companies are like, we'll eat it for a while. Other companies are like, no way, I'm just going to rack up the price. We're not, either they buy it or they don't buy it, but this is what the price is now. So, but again, I think this is a wonderful product. I think this is really, really good for DJs. It's a primo product though. So, I think this is one of those slightly more than you should pay for a speaker of that caliber, considering you can look at a QS, one of the other ones, which is going to be next. So let's say, why do I say that?
I think USC was looking at the market and they were saying, oh, like EV is at 1,700 or 1,800, and we're a three-way, so they got to be more than them, I think that's probably why they priced it there.
This is why I don't think
Yeah.
their product, this piece of hardware right here, the
and
Maui,
it's a three-way.
this product here, this is why the other speaker has to go down by $500.
Mm-hmm.
If you have a showroom and you have this speaker and the QSC, every customer will say the same thing. They both sound fucking awesome. They're both amazing speakers. But when you show the price tag, how can you justify, unless the person's a diehard, and I have had diehards come in and buy a brand because it's that brand, and it's like, you know what, I'm willing to pay for it because that's what I want. But I tell you, if you're in a band, you might be a little bit more interested in the other one. If you're playing EDM, you're probably more interested in this. If you're playing house, techno, hip hop, reggae, anything like that, you're probably going to buy more into this.
Yeah.
So, because again, if you go to Europe and you go to any of the bars, any of the clubs, you're like, wow. I mean, if our level of bass and performance is so much higher here compared to the Middle East, to Asia, to India, that sort of those markets there, where bass, it's the complete opposite. They're crazy about the highs, the mids, and the highs. If you listen to all the music, that's what they're great on. If you listen to us, we're much bassier. Take that and dial it up again when you go to Europe. You go to Europe and you listen to stuff that people between the age of 18 and 40 are listening to. It is just so full of bass, and it's so spread apart. It's like so much contour in their sound. It's so rich. So very, very, very impressive. And their product line just fits right in there because that's their backyard. It's like RCF's the same way. They're getting more and more and more away from gear that I think is meant more for bands and more dialed up for DJs and people that are doing live club events, that sort of stuff. So I think that's why you're seeing the change in products. And I don't see that QSC necessarily leaning heavily into that spectrum. That's just my opinion. What do you think? I know you like them. You own a pair, right?
The LD Systems Maui 28 G3. So I just picked up a pair of those about 2 weeks ago, and I've been playing with them inside my house ever since. you know, when I'm practicing and stuff. And I gotta say, man, I don't want to spoil the review video, but again, I think they're probably the best in their class as far as sound wise. I don't know how they get their subwoofers to sound so damn good. Well, I do know how. I mean, it's the size of the box and the weight of the box, and they just sound they just sound good. I don't know how. Like everybody in the chat's telling me get the QSC KC12s. I don't see how the KC12s would sound better than these because they're both a three-way system, and there's no way that KC12 bass cabinet sounds better than the bass cabinet in this Maui 28G3. There's just no way, dude.
I tell you, there you go. It's something else for us to do. Spend time doing. We got to go on tour with all the speakers coming to a city near you. It'll be like Top Gear, where we just go on the road.
I wonder if we could go on tour doing speaker wars, like put up all the speakers I have, all the speakers you have, in like a big ass trailer, go city to city, and be like, we're gonna be here at this time and sell tickets. We're setting up all the speakers, and y'all can come hear them.
It's like you come out for you come out with a $50 fucking, like you get a pair of tickets for $50. And you come out to some hotel, and we put on our own electronic show, and it's like, it's like, what the craziest go like those like that video that you saw before I saw. Now I should have linked that video in here. I'm gonna take a minute. I'm gonna let you. I'm gonna try and find that video again and put the link in the description, because I don't think everybody's seen that video. It's where and they're all sound techs. You know how I could tell they're sound techs?
Yeah.
They all have beer bellies. They're all sound engineer guys. They're all techs. They're all engineers. And holy shit, the collection of speakers they brought together. So they all brought their own speakers to one guy's place, and they made this guy's video channel. He's got one video on his YouTube channel, and I have to say, it is the most badass video you're gonna see when it comes for watching like column arrays. This is like I rarely watch everything, and I watched it all, and I went, oh fuck, I'm so impressed. I watched parts over again, and I'm like, the guy, and you can tell these are people that actually appreciate the fact that they do this for a living. This is their job. The guy is literally standing on top of his subs, working his speakers, adjusting them, and tearing them apart. And I'm going, oh my god, that's so cool. I'm such a geek. But that video is super badass. We're going to make sure and add that to this description down below. I'm going to try and get it there before so you can watch it. I also added a video link down below for another YouTuber. I forget what his name. I'd have to go look at the description and read it. But I just came across him today. He had the rep from Mackie on, and they were talking shit. And amazingly enough, very honest and open conversation. And there's at 40 minutes to like 50 minutes, he talks all about affordable, reasonably priced speakers. And specifically, the guy asked him, he says, have you seen or heard any of this talk about the EXOTON? And there was a whole open conversation about it. And again, it's great to hear a point of view from somebody who reps an actual big brand like Mackie, what their point of view is. And it's like, you know what? It's not like, ooh, poo poo. That's, it's just, it was a legit conversation, and it was a smart response, which anybody who owns the product would not feel offended by the conversation that he had about it. And he didn't diss the product in the way that you would think. So that I thought it was very impressive. That link is down below. So if you want, you can watch his. I'm gonna go check the actual thing so I can call him out, because I did tell him on his channel today. I would say, hey, by the way, I'm gonna mention you on the channel. So I gotta be like halfway decent polite to say that. So let's get back to this. Yes, you're gonna review these speakers. And like I said, I have no problems. I guarantee you the QSC sound absolutely awesome. But I just have a hard time, like you just said, justifying spending. Now, remember, you're going to buy a pair. So even if you buy them both on sale, that's still, $440 times. That's $880 difference for a pair. And you have to justify to me that the QSC sound $880 better than these.
No, there's no way.
Like I said, and but 880, it's an uphill battle. That's the whole point. It's not like you're going apples for apples, like, $1,500, $1,600 and pick your poison, right?
Yeah, I know.
That's
I'm
a
being a
lot.
hater. I'm over here saying there's no way, and I've never like heard the QSCs to their full limit. I did hear the QSC KC12s once in Guitar Center when they first came out. I rushed to Guitar Center to hear them, but they wouldn't let me crank them up, super loud because there was people in there. There's a lot of people in there. I did crank them up to, I would say, like 40% volume, and I was like, I'm not impressed. It was the bass, man. The bass on those, they just don't hit, and that's what I've seen a lot of people say. They don't hit like the LG, the G3s, the Maui 28s do. They just don't. And it's a different sound, like they're way more punchy and the Mauis are way more like room filling. So it's like, I call it warm, but like in my videos, it's just a different sound. It's like, the RCF J8, it's very punchy and you have, it'll knock you in your chest, but like, you just don't feel it. You don't feel that bass. Where with the Maui 28 G3, and I also noticed this with the Bose All-In Pro 16, the bass is just it's very good, man. It's like it's very room filling where you can walk all around the room and you hear it, you feel it. It's just a different sound, and it's what I like.
Look at this. I'm sharing the right speaker this time. This is the RCF Evox J11.
J11.
Now another
brand new.
Brand new. You can only pre-order it. Now, this is a $2,000 product. Is this going to set a new category for the price point? I mean, because they're asking $2,000. Now, again, I don't get it. They're gonna. It's a big push. It's a big ask. They're right at the beginning of the release of the product, right? So now, I think they're gonna fix this. By the way, I don't think they're gonna stay white. They're gonna stay black here. I think that's gonna end up. I think this is their prototype picture. I think when they actually deliver the product, I'd be quite surprised if that's not white.
Yeah.
I think that's just their prototype test products. I don't think the speaker here is white at all. I think it's a mock-up of a speaker. Now, I'm looking at, everything's impressive. Everything's impressive. I don't think there's going to be any haters on it. It does fit in with the next generation of speakers. You can't see it here, but you can see it here. Right up here. There it is. Near the top, 2 drivers up, the rest of the drivers are below it. There's the horn there. Now, if I'm not mistaken, I think they driver down all the way down the face of their speaker. All the way down here, it's drivers. So
yeah, the J11 has drivers all the way down. The J9, the new J9, only has them in the top portion.
Yeah.
And the J9 is 1,500 and the J11 is 2,000.
Yep. So,
but again, it's another 12-inch subwoofer. It's like, man, not gonna do it for me.
Like I said, this probably will. I mean, this is probably going to be a banger when it comes out. Now, it's like they could achieve levels, but again, how far will that sound carry? That's my thing. It's like, yeah, and on the close up on the dance floor, I think it's going to be pretty solid. You have 2 of them. If you have a dance floor that only has a 10-foot ceiling, I think 2 of these will just kill it. But when you get into a room that has a 16 to 24-foot ceiling, that's a completely different event. So that's what I'm saying. I really like those ones. Again, I'd love to hear those. That would be something. But again, we're pushing the limit of affordability for a lot of people. That's what I'm thinking. Now, here's another one that's way out of price.
For real. You know how much I paid to get one of those?
You bought it you bought it around COVID or pre-COVID? Because this has been out for a while.
Yeah, it was a while ago when I bought it, but I got it on Facebook Marketplace used, and it looks brand new. It looks perfect. And the guy I bought it from, he was like, yeah, I bought it. I used it at a few gigs. It's not enough for me. I need to upgrade. I bought it for $825.
I mean, I love the bells and whistles on it. And
yeah.
If you're buying it for a school or a church where it's not going to be you that runs the equipment, or you're buying it as a rental equipment, absolutely always buy JBL. They build so much ruggedness, so much resilience into their products. Like their products they die of old age.
Yeah.
They die because nobody wants them anymore. Like they die like, do you still have that in the garage? You've had that for 25 years. It's like that's how these speakers are going to die of really old age. So I mean, again, if you're looking for churches, if you're looking for schools, if you're looking for rental equipment, if you just like buying the most durable stuff that you can just throw around and you don't care, this will be something you buy. It is expensive. They're not. Again, I think tariffs is the problem right now with that speaker. They're not going to give it up. JBL is not a stupid company. They're just, you know what? Their parent company Samsung is not going to discount it for any great thing. Plus, there's a shitload of margin in JBL. Like the retail, like the advertised list retail that you have to stick to, the MAP from the manufacturer, this I know is very high. It gives the retailer an opportunity to really offer a customer a deal like, hey, I can do this for you for, let's go $1,800.
Mm-hmm.
18 for yours today. You know, I'll knock $200, $250 off. And then the guy will say, man, I only want to spend 15. How about we split the difference? And then you can sell these off at like 17, 16.50 and still make money out of it that you're going to go like, dude, if you order them, I'll sell them to you at that price. Okay. I'm not going to, I'm not going to give you the ones in the store, but I'll order a pair for you at that price. Okay. Yeah. You can't do that with everything. When these are on regular price, you probably do it with these guys. You didn't hear that from me. I'm just, some guy, I can get these for, no, you know what? The store can do whatever the fuck they want. Never, in my store, never ask my wife for the discount because she would say, who the fuck are you? Friends and family, 10%. But don't ask me a question because that costs you more. She always, it was a great system we had. It's like, are you going to ask me a question? And before you ask me a question about why you're going to ask me a question, because the first thing you asked me for was what's your best price? Well, my best price doesn't include my advice or my opinion or the stock in the store. So ask yourself the question, what are you willing to pay to ask me a question? So it's like, it's like, you know what? People don't walk away. They start scratching their head going, shit. Because if all you want is a discount, you're probably going to want an exchange. Because the second question, most people who ask you, hammer you about the price before they hammer you about anything else, the second question out of their mouth is, what's your return policy? Dude, maybe if you stopped focusing on the deal and started focusing on what you need, right, you wouldn't worry about the refund policy. You would go home with what you want and what you think is going to work best for you. And then you're going to be like, oh, I'm so happy. Do they have a refund policy? I don't know. I never asked. Oh, I'd have to check the bill.
Nope. Sorry, dude. No refund for you. No refund for you.
Anyways, but yeah, so that is JBL. Let's move on to the next speaker. Okay. And here we go. Oh, look at this. Amazingly enough. Are we sharing the screen? We're sharing it. Guess what we made it our way up to? The Electro-Voice Evolve 50. Took us all this time. We're never going to finish this. We're going to have to race. All right. Who knows about the Evolve 50? Why buy it? There's so many other options. If you're buying it because you're in a band, the original reason to buy the speaker is the reason to buy it today. Look at the price tag of that. That is just...
Yeah, that's the one with the mixer on it. The normal version thinks 2,000 or 2,200 something. I don't know.
Right. You're right. Take away the M. You're right. $2,000,
yeah.
But still $2,000 today. We can do better than this. Yep. This is one of those. This needs to be $14.99.
Yep.
If not $12.99 at this point. If we take away the M, the M is only worth $200 in my book. So exactly. That's how. So here we go. We're gonna. You know what? See. This is. I just put this up here because I thought it was.
So here you go, buddy. Buddy's gonna be all excited now. He says these are amazing. They better be for freaking $4,500. Yeah.
I mean, you're not buying two bass modules. You're only getting one bass module. But I hope they include that stand because that's a kick-ass stand. You'd think they'd include one metal plate that would actually connect to the side of the bass module. You know, like if you had a metal plate stand and there was actually connectors on the actual subwoofer for it to connect onto, so it would like pack away nice and somewhere to carry it.
So when you have it like that, do you have to run a cable from that single top speaker that's on the tripod down to the subwoofer?
In this case, I think the bass mod, they don't even have good pictures on here.
Oh,
The bass module has a cable that's going to go up here
right.
and up over here. So you're running a powered speaker here, a powered speaker cable here, and a powered speaker cable there. So it's not XLR. This is all speak on connectors here.
So that's like a nicer version of like the ProRec stuff that the ProRec does.
I think these are people that are very, I think this was done by an engineer who was very, very smart at what they do and engineered a very sophisticated piece of smart tech and probably went through a lot of work in the sound room and just made an incredible sounding product for people who are absolute bunkos for how good it sounds.
Well, and
I'm not a fan.
I think that bass module, the reason why I think the reason why there's only one bass module with that is because I think it's like a dual 12.
It's a double 12. It is.
Okay,
right.
yeah.
I remember that. It's a double 12. It's a double 12, but still, I think it's absolutely, like I said, I think it's a genius. You know, I think this company is it's like those super hyper cars that nobody knows about. You know, that these people buy these $1.2 million cars and you're like, I've never heard of this brand, or like I never see it anywhere because it's so fancy, right? It's so good, and it's out of most people's price category that they feel comfortable spending money at. And I'm not saying it's not worth it. I don't know.
What I don't understand about this one is like, wouldn't it make more sense to have the bass module like in around your DJ booth, behind it, in front of it, whatever, since it's a dual 12, and then have those two top speakers on two tripods, like, you know, spread out, you know, on the sides of you? Why would you have the bass module under one of them? It doesn't matter?
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You're most likely, this spread is only going to be about 3 meters apart, 10 feet apart, 12 feet apart. You know, you're not going to push it apart that far. You know, I won't talk about it in this show because it would just not get us to the end of the show. But because I think eventually we're gonna all go back to having point source speakers, but that's a conversation for a different night. So let's go to the next category, which two of these speakers in this category really qualified for, and that is for the. We're gonna bring up the first one here. Let's come on, open up there, big guy. Okay. Why aren't you opening? Dude, I know what I'm doing. You click on this, you click on that. Okay. It's up on top. Okay. All right. Right? Yes. Okay. All right. Sorry, I just had to fix this. Let's do this. Where's the button? There it is. All right. So I don't have to go to the bathroom, but I think I got called away for a second. So
okay,
I'm going to let you. You could talk about this because you own it. I'll be right back. I just have to hit the mute button here, and I'll be right back.
Yeah, so the Bose L1 Pro 16, what do you guys think in those comments? Like, to me personally, the subwoofer is kind of like maybe a 15-inch subwoofer. It's like a 10 by 12 or something. It's a weird design. It's like an oval shape or whatever. I'll go over all this when I review the speaker. And I don't want to give away, you know, all of my thoughts because I hope you guys will watch my video when it comes out. But the reason why I didn't love this speaker personally, there's a couple of reasons, which I'll talk about in my video, but it's a good speaker and it sounds good. It sounds, to me, it's in the top of the class. You know what I need to do? I need to do a video. I have so many freaking videos I need to make, but I need to do a video, like a tier list video of all the speakers. I've seen like a lot of gamers do this, and I've seen like a lot of movie guys do this, where they like rank, you know, their videos, or I could rank speakers and put like S tier, A tier, B tier, C tier, D tier, whatever, and put them all in the tiers and tell you guys what I think about it. I'm sure it would piss off a lot of people. But yeah, I mean the Bose are good. 1899, 1900. Again, I bought them used on Facebook Marketplace. I got them for I want to say around 1400 a piece. I think I got one for 13 like 25 and then another one for 1450, something like that. But I don't know, man. Like they're good. They're good. Don't get me wrong, but there's a couple of issues with them that I didn't like. So that's why I moved away from them. I even bought those big, stupid, I need to go over that in my video too, those big, dumb golf bags to move them things around. The bag alone was almost $300 a piece. So for two of the bags, it was $600. That's how much Bose loves. Yeah, that's how much Bose loves their stuff.
You look at people who buy them. You look at the. It's a mature audience who are buying them.
Yeah,
and they're content. And like I said, I don't see a problem with the product. I mock them because they're primo product, but not that primo. When you look at it now, you're looking at $1,900. And it's not, I hate to tell you, it's like $1,900 is not that expensive compared to some of the shit we've been looking at. So I have to tell you, this was a very Canadian thing. I thought my wife needed me because I thought I heard doorbell. It turned out it wasn't doorbell, but my wife came and she opened the studio door. She was doing something. I thought she needed my attention. This is the Canadian part. She was putting away the mitts and hats.
Well, I'm glad you're a very attentive husband. That's you're a good man.
Yeah, she's putting away all the mitts and hats for the wintertime so they can go into storage because we don't need the scarves anymore. We don't need all the gloves and all the winter stuff. So she was
nice.
Oh, there you go. There you go. That's very Canadian, Anna. But yeah, so like I said, I don't have a problem. I think they're always nice looking speakers. I think they're pretty. And again, they're a type of product that you'll own them until you don't want to own them. But you know what's good about them? And it's just like you were saying, you bought them from somebody else and they were still in excellent condition, like sound wise, power wise, reliability. You felt comfortable buying it. You spent some money on it. You paid good money for something that's going to have no warranty to it, something that's got mileage on it. And you're going to be able to sell them for almost the price that you paid for them.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, I mean, for sure. I'm sure. I mean, I guess everybody in the comments wants us to do a show on lights because they're all talking about up lights and fucking stupid
don't tell my wife
lightsaber lights and Rockville.
She said that. She goes, "Why are you talking about speakers again?"
Because that's what I like to talk about.
Why did you do lights? I said, "Lights, really? Lights?"
I hate talking about lights, to be honest. You might want to bring one of these guys on the show for that, but because I'm just gonna be like, whatever.
I mean, I'm all like she used to buy the lights that we used to sell in our store. So that was one of her jobs because she had to manage all importing them, getting them in from overseas. So we used to buy our lights. We tried buying Chauvet and ADJ. Yeah. And it's like, then we brought in our own par lights. And our par lights were like so cheap. We had a lot of churches come to us. And as soon as I realized churches were buying par lights, they were coming in the guys were going, I said, they're okay. I mean, they're not the best. They're pretty good. But, I'm selling par lights. They would be like in Canada, in the US for like $24.99 for 18-watt pars, right? $30 for 36-watt pars. Like, I mean, they're really affordable. And it's like they come in and go, I'll buy 20. I'm going, dude, I don't think I have 20, but okay. So people, like I was competing with Amazon and they would come back and they'd go like, they'd bring like 3 under their arms and they're going, can I fix these? I bought them like 3 months ago. I go, dude, no, there's like 3-month replace warranty on it. He goes, yeah, half the lights went out. I said, I'm sorry, dude. I said, there's really not much I can do about them. That's why they're so cheap. It's hit and miss. No problem. Here, can you recycle that? Yeah, I'd like to buy another 8. Okay, no problem. But I sold that, and then she started bringing other lights, and we had moving heads, and then we had our 5-in-1s were just crazy. They had laser, combination strobe, all these nice lights, all set up in one box, one with the music. People didn't have to do anything. You linked them together. They all worked together. It looked like you were such a professional dude. And if you were allowed to run a hazer, they were like $1 million. Anyways, but she loved buying the lights, and they sold like hotcakes. We had BIs, we had all kinds of stuff. Our lights were half the price, so everybody came and bought them from us. It was like, but that was pre-COVID, and then it was like, after that, it was like, no, I had to sell off the lights I had for half price. Anyways, so there we go. RCF Evox 12. Now this is another.
You still got the Bose on the screen.
Oh no, I still got the Bose. Now both these speakers are what I call. These are new. It's a new class of speakers. Now there's two other speakers that are not in here that were part of this class, and that was, now that we're talking about it, I'm going to bring them in now. I'm going to say these speakers here belong here, because I don't want to seem like I'm jinxing anybody and saying otherwise about something. So this, which was the this is the this is the new Evox J11. Okay, it is a hyper class column array. It's a hybrid speaker now that I look at based on the features and design of the speakers. These are a new category of speakers. They're not just a column array. They're certainly not a point source, but they're somewhere in the middle because they've now introduced tweeter horns to them, or tweeters. They've introduced a three-way setup to them. They've introduced a different way to bring, they've put more bass into the module, because some of them now are getting into that 15-inch category. So what does that mean is that we're building a bass driver that's close to a sub because we're putting larger than 3-inch drivers on the tops. So we're going to carry more mid bass up higher. We're going to have more bass down lower. We're building a much better speaker than we were building 3 years ago. Like, these column arrays are nothing like they had before, and we're seeing a whole bunch of new products coming out for it. So this one goes in that category. It goes in our 15-inch category, which is our hybrid category. And also, was it this one? Was it this one? I think it was this one. Let's see. Sorry, I'm just gonna. Yes, it was this one here. The QSC. That everybody's like, ooh, that is so sweet. Speaker, $2,000. This is also a hybrid crossover hybrid speaker. So this is definitely part of this new category. So again, do we have a lot of them? No. Why isn't the Evolve 70 here? Where'd it go? It was here. I lost my Evolve 70. That's how easy it is to misplace an Evolve 70. What happened to your Evolve 70? What? It was here. It was here. I swear to God, it was here. So the Evolve 70 was here. Then you've got, of course, you've got the Evox 12. So not all of these are 15-inch speakers at this point. Okay. This one is. There's two of them that aren't. But this is, it's got to be a fucking badass speaker. Like, that's all I got to say about it, is that this thing, for all its plainness to it, like, it's, you know, like I don't know, it's like it's got a handle. It's got a, like, that's the sales feature of this speaker. Yes, sir, but for $2,500, it comes with a handle. A pull-out handle with wheels. You're gonna roll it around like luggage.
Yeah, I love that feature. I think that's a super cool feature. I got to give it to them for that.
You know, it's got this rolling handle that's part of the speaker. So you got a bag over your shoulder, and you got this pulling by the handle. And this is the funny part. And it's like, this is what threw me off. It's called an Evox 12.
Yeah.
But when you read the description,
it's a 15-inch woofer.
It's a 15-inch woofer. You know, I don't want to seem like I'm like better at them than marketing. I don't want to like boast about my marketing experience. But why wouldn't you just call it an Evox 15? It's like, what did somebody say? Well, the last one we made, well, we have an 11. We're going to make a 12. No, dude, a 12. No one's gonna. What? Call it a 15. Well, you got to put 15 in the model number somewhere. You got to tell people that.
I think it has 12 speakers in the top, is why they call it that.
You know what? Not important.
I know, exactly. I know.
You know,
yeah,
normally, if it was a 12-inch speaker, that would be great. 12 by 12. Ooh,
yeah.
You know, but you know, it's like, what were they? You know, call it a 12-15. Well, but
That's so funny. You know what? Not important.
yeah, not today, not today, not here, not there. No, I mean, oh,
That's funny.
somebody at RCF is going. See, I told you, I told you. 15.
Yeah, Steve says 5K for a pair. Yeah, it's 5K a pair for the speakers. Then you got to buy the covers. Then you got to buy, if you're going to transport something somehow. So you're talking about 6K easily for those two. And those speakers are like 12 years old. Those things should be down to like $1,400 now. They should not be $2,500.
So I gotta be honest, as a retailer, if you're not getting your covers for free, you're not trying hard enough. That's why if you want a deal on a set of speakers, stop buying them online. That's my first thing. If you're going, well, the store's really far away. James, how much do you think covers are? I don't know. For these things, they're not cheap. I remember
No, they're like
covers.
$100 a piece. So that's what I mean. And you got a top cover, a bottom cover. So you're talking about $400 with tax. It's like $500 for the covers.
To sell covers, I used to go, if you buy one cover, I'll throw in the second one for free if you're buying the speakers.
Nice.
And if the customer would have asked me 3 times for the covers for free, and he was walking to the door going, I can go to DJ Depot and get them to throw in the covers for me, I'd stop him at the door. Not in the store. I'd walk down the hall to the front door and I'd stop him before he got on his car and go, okay, dude, come on. It's like, come on. All right, let's go do this. How you paying? Let's go. Come on. Yeah, I know. Covers, free covers. Yeah, I get you. Let's go. Come on. You're not fucking going to DJ Depot today. That was my competition, DJ Depot.
Now Nuno's saying these are the best. Nuno, I think you're confused. A minute ago, you just said the KC12s are the best. Now you're saying these are the best. Come on, brother.
Well, you know what? I mean, if it was a coin toss, I'd buy the QSCs. Because the QSCs just look much nicer.
Yeah, and they're 2,000, so it saves you $1,000.
Weddings, if you're doing weddings and stuff like that, I mean, this is just. I'm not. To me, I have an answer to all these problems. Let's go here. Where are we at? Okay, this is the one you did. You did this on your own, right? Yes, you did. You did this one. You demand. So there you go. So now all that's left. So we've done this. We've done that. Now we're up to the grand finales. These are the bonkos that we haven't reviewed yet. Okay. These are. Let's get this up here. We're going to start with the bonko price first. So these are all the speakers that I think are just bonkos. Okay. The Evolve 90. Bonko speaker number 1.
Bonko speaker number 1.
I think the Evolve 70, which I've somehow misplaced, is a great speaker. It'll eventually come down in price even more, and I think it'll fit right in perfectly with everything else. This, for the 18-inch, 30, even they think it's bonkos because they went from $4,000. They've already dropped the regular price by $600. So it's like, come on. This speaker needs to come down to $24.99. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I think it's a great speaker. I don't think people should be buying it as DJs, even if they say buy it as a DJ. I think if you're a band, if you're looking for a top-end system for a hall, for a bar or a club where you're going to play in a band for 100 people, go for it. I think hey, Electro-Voice, if you want to host the show that we're going to be going on tour and we're going to get sponsors from everybody, and everybody's going to send their equipment to us, you're welcome to join the tour. So if the gear guys go on tour and they want to set us a pair to take on tour with us, they're in. But, I think there's a lot of other speakers on this list. Now let's go to Bonkos, James's favorite pair of Bonkos. What would be the most craziest column arrays that James would get?
The bass boss.
$8,000 pair. You know what?
I've never heard a baseball speaker either, and I want to hear one so bad. I almost want to buy. IDJ now has the Bass Boss SV9. It's a little 9-inch woofer speaker for $900. Its original price was $1,500, and they've reduced it down to $995. I almost want to buy one just to test it and just to review it and play with it.
Gear Guy tour. These guys would be there. These guys would be on the Gear Guys tour. They would bring their own guy with them. See, that's the whole point. It's like, come on down, take a listen. Where else are you going to get to say you got to listen to it? But on tour with the Gear Guys. It's a 2-week tour. We're coming to your city soon.
Yeah.
And then the only thing that would make me spend $9,000 for a pair of speakers.
There you go. There's the one I was talking about. Yeah, that's the Porsche designed. Yeah.
The Bugatti. This is like, these are, if you just want, I mean, god damn.
But it's still half the price of the Bass Boss.
Yeah, I know. And this is elegant power performance.
It's got dual 10-inch woofers in it.
But it is so tuned.
I bet.
The speaker is so tuned. The performance and power that comes out of this. This is
I would love to hear that one so bad. I would love to hear it.
Your tops are, look at this.
I know.
Three-way. Talk about a three-way. Those are all tweeters, soft dome tweeters, not just once, twice in one speaker package.
Oh, I want to hear those so bad.
Tweeters. I mean, this is an amazing. Plus, if you look at it, it's multi-link connection. The way they've wired up and connected this whole thing, it is just amazing. So, yeah, I mean, if you're doing amazing shows, if you're a crowd, if you're just dealing with the millionaires row where you're a DJ and you're playing in somebody's $5 million house, mansions and stuff like that, and you're doing that level of shows where your DJ and your sets are going for like $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 because you're that guy. Good for you. You wear, a $2,000 suit to go do your shows. Hey, this is what you're going to buy.
Yeah.
So do they intend to sell 10,000 of these? No. Probably going to sell 1,000 or 2,000 of them though. So
there's some dudes on YouTube that has those. They're in Midwest. What's crazy too, I want to get them on my show. But they're based out of like Arkansas, like Midwest Arkansas or something like that. And I forget the dudes' names. The chat will probably remind me, but they're an LD rep like Rick Webb just decided to become, and they have the P900s. And I was like, dude, I just want to hear one of those so bad. Like, and it looks so elegant, like so nice looking. Damn. I even saw those speakers on Unbox Therapy. The guy who has like 3 million or 5 million subscribers, he unboxed this speaker and talked about it on his channel.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
Just think about it. They send the speaker and they probably paid him another $5,000 to do the video.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
But
DJ
yeah,
Knox.
that's how bonkers this is.
Yeah.
So amazing.
I want to hear them so bad.
Like I said, this is, again, to me, the pinnacle of speakers, not just in design, but in sound.
Exactly.
It's basically, they built it to say, this is what we can do.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. It's like, sell it or not. It's like Formula One of speakers. It is like, if all we do with this product is design all our other products to be in the same acoustic value of this, meaning like this is the goal. We want all our speakers to meet these expectations, but at half the price or 75%, but this is the standard that we're shooting for as a company. Then you're basically saying, yeah, because look at it. We're talking about, I put this as the top choice. If money wasn't an object, if I can go out and spend anything for anything, this would be the one product I would like. I would never say I paid too much for that.
Yeah, that's the one that's the one of all that I would actually splurge on as well. Like Like the bass boss, no, it's ridiculous. Like I would never pay $8,000 for that. And I don't feel like that's a DJ speaker, to be honest. It's way too heavy. It's way too big. It's way too. It's not practical.
That's something I would pay employees to go set up.
Yeah.
For a DJ who's going to do a rave or some event, right?
Yeah.
Like, there's like something's happening at the beach or something like that, and they're paying me to bring the equipment and set it up, and this is going to show up, right? So I mean, it has its place. It has its place, but you're never going to do a wedding with that, and you're not going to set it up by yourself. You're going to have a team do it for you, because the odds are, if you're able to spend $16,000 on a pair of speakers, you're probably a guy who has people that work for you.
Yeah, I was thinking like the bass boss columns. I was thinking like the better version of that would be to get 2 of those Tower of Powers from Blast King.
I'd spend my money on that.
Yeah.
Right, because then you're filling even more space. You're looking at volume. You've got the bass. You've got all the subs. You got all that. I didn't put them. They're PLA. I didn't put them here because I didn't mention them, and you mentioned them earlier. I'm sorry, I forgot to put them here. They currently only have. They're in a lineup change right now, so
they don't hardly sell. It's weird. Like, they put all this stuff on their website, but it's never in stock.
They're in a lineup change, so they've got stuff that's coming and going. Like I said, if we were down in Brazil, we'd see like a shitload of Blast King to be had. So right now they're focusing on the southern U.S. So, but that's that. So like I said, all that for that. I hope everybody's pleased. This whole thing is, I'm going to see if I can show just the speaker, because wouldn't that be exciting to end this video with just showing our speaker? Let me see if I can, without, I'm trying to get just for this. Can I make this any smaller? Yeah, okay, I can do that. Let's make it smaller. Okay, I am going to share this. Did it share? Sorry, do you see it? Yes.
All right, fellas, y'all look at this on the screen and give us your opinions.
Not the biggest picture. I know I could do better. Okay. So this is what we're shooting for. Now it's going to get much more refined. So basically the engineers are going to work with it. The designer is going to work with it. So this is the concept of the speaker. So it's a 15-inch. It's powered with DSP. It will have Bluetooth. It will have TWS, true stereo connectivity. It won't have an app, I don't think, because the price point, we're just not going to be able to achieve it.
No, we don't need no apps. No apps.
I would like to have it programmable outside. At least I could program it, and I'd like to have it flashable. Now, what does that mean? Is that if we determine that after we've built the speaker and we've brought the speaker to North, that for some particular reason it's not tuned the way we want, we can pull it out of the box, send out a USB stick or something, and people can choose to flash it. Please note, by flashing your unit, you may void the warranty, but be able to reset the acoustic value of the speaker if we think it needs to be done that way. Anyways, on top, you're looking at 4 6.5 mid-bass drivers and a tweeter. Now, you'll notice on our configuration, the tweeter horn is all the way at the top.
Yeah.
Because it needs to be over everybody's head, and that's how you're going to achieve maximum distance. Now, it's going to be wired. It's going to be no speak-on cable connection on the back. It's going to be a pole locked-in mount. And then in true educational fashion, I'll tell people that your subwoofer does not have to face forward in the room. It can face on a 45. I don't give a shit. It can face this way, it can face that way. You know what? If you need to adjust your tops to be a little bit more further out, or maybe your speakers are further apart and you need to bring them in a little bit, you can do that. Now, our speaker is going to be a true 3-way speaker, which is why it's part of the new hybrid speaker system. Because I was looking at acoustics, how the sound, because like James was mentioning, it should have 120-degree dispersion. And he's absolutely right. Because if you are close to the dance floor, you need your speakers to fan out. And if you have tables to the left and right,
yep,
you need to have that sound get there.
Yep.
So that's why. But the problem is tweeters are not going to give you that. What people don't think is, oh, look at all that fancy horns they put on there. the sound coming out of a tweeter horn is going to have basically a 90-degree dispersion, and your bottom is going to have a much wider dispersion. So that's why you're having this little cross conversation of it being mixed together. Plus, as soon as you take away, even 4 6-inch drivers put together is going to give you an amazing sound. It's going to give you an amazing amount of energy. Throwing that forward, you're going to hear so much of that. It's going to be so rich up on top without having to hear the bottom. You're going to be able to have better bass response out of your bottoms. This is going to be badass. Now, at the same time, if you've been able to read the very super fine print, somewhere between $800 and $1,000, depending on what the end cost is going to be. And the extras are only if it's worth it. We're not going to bump the price up to add features to it if we don't think it's worth it. So it's right now the box is going to be designed by one company, the amp plate's designed by another company, the drivers are manufactured by a third company. This is all going to be brought together, and then it's got to be tuned. So it's easy to make a box for a subwoofer. It's easy to make a box for the top speakers. It's all math. The manufacturer makes the driver, decides what the mathematical volume is. If anybody's ever built car audio shit, they say, oh, your box needs to be 2.2 cubic feet for this driver. And it needs to have a port. And the port has to be so long and it has to be so wide. And those numbers are all put out there. The manufacturers build drivers tell you this. So that's it. But the problem is you may not like the way it sounds. You go, that's a shitty sounding speaker. It's not tuned yet. And that's what the DSP, that's what the programming of the amp has the ability to adjust all of that and make it sound just right. You tune it in the sound room so this way it sounds for us. It's going to be built for us. People who love the bass, people who want the volume, people who want to fill the room. It's like, whoa, yes, yes, yes.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, so that's why. And again, we're going to do it so that it's half the price of our, because we're taking the speaker from manufacturing to consumer. We're skipping everybody in the middle. So all that money that's got to be made here, we're taking all that out. We're going to make money because I'm not cheap. I'm not doing this for free. I'm not an NGO or anything like that. No offense. I like you all, but hey, I got to pay the bill. That's coming out of here. All this extra is not going to happen. And then there's the cost down here. That's what's going to happen. And once we actually do get closer to a launch, once we have everything hammered out and we have an idea what this is all going to cost us, then we're going to start saying, hey, pre-show pricing, pre-order, pre-manufacture, we're going to have those prices there for you. It's going to be part of the fundraiser. I need to commit to building whatever they're going to say. They're going to say, Robin, if you want that price, you got to order 100, and then you got to have a guarantee order for another 150 on top of that to meet the next goal and whatever not. So there's going to be targets, and we're going to sell that shit for a discount and only for the first people. So the diehards that want to buy in, get the best savings. Then it just comes down from there. But I don't want to sell all night there, James. James, what do you think, buddy?
I think they look dope, man. So I'm reading the comments. Everybody, JTech says he doesn't like the top design and the pole, and then right under that, you got Nuno saying,
he's right. The pole is not. I don't think the pole's staying though.
Nuno says, I like the pole. So you get one saying, I don't like it. The next person saying they do like it.
So it's going to be very similar to right now. This version is going to copy the Electro-Voice style, where you have fixed heights on the poles. It's a tough one because see, I do like the idea of being able to drive the pole up higher, but I do think you can fix that if you just have a beefy enough and a taller pole to do that. You need a short pole because the top section alone is going to be almost 4 feet tall. The top is on top, almost 4 feet tall, because the fact that we're going with 6-inch drivers. And it's going to be available in white. The intent is to have it in white as much as it is in black. So people will have a choice on that. But yeah, it is it's a lot of choices being made.
Yeah, I mean, again, we want feedback, so we're gonna have to
everybody talk up here.
Is that an angry whale for the company logo? Yes, the Leviathan is the loudest creature on planet Earth. So that's the idea behind that. Kind of smart, actually. When Robin came up with that, I was like, wow, I like that. That's cool.
put some thought behind it. Plus, he's pretty bad. Come on, hey, come on.
Yeah.
Wales will kill the shit out of you, man. Just watch those surfer games.
Steve's got jokes. He says, "Will you get Rick Webb to be a seller?" No, that's a definite no.
You know, I said this last time. I said, you know what? I'm not going to leave anybody out. I mean, I'll go with it. You know, either me or James is going to show up with the product. So, because you know what, you have to coach people into it. You can't just blindly, you know, these. You're going to go spend some time with somebody. You should go spend some time with somebody, and be professional about it. This shouldn't be like an online shopping channel here for speakers. So I think that's what misses with a lot of people. Is like when people have a hard time with stuff. I think that's what happens.
A Loop Beat says, looks like the logo is covering one of the drivers. Yeah, these are just mock-ups, dude. So like nothing's been made yet.
These pictures, those are, trust me, it's not like I had somebody put the badging on. Yeah. There was a lot of AI work involved here. No, these are, and you know what? That name may not stick. This is right now, this is the covert, you know, secret code name for this project. So, you know, this way it's like, you know, when the guys are going out to buy new Costco land to build a new Costco or build a new Walmart, they're not going around saying, hey, I'm from Costco. Because, you know, all of a sudden that land gets really expensive. So
Buddy says too low of a price. So I think, you know, where we want to shoot for is not like the cheapest thing in the market. I'm thinking like Blast King. You know, Blast King is not the cheapest thing on the market. It's kind of like right there. It's under like the EV, you know, ELX line. It's right there, like it's at a great price range. I speak about this in my video. I think it's not like, you know, like a cheap piece of, you know, whatever, like people consider something cheap garbage or whatever. It's like a little above that. So that's what we want to shoot for, I think. Right.
Yeah. You know what, if you, it's like the EXOTON. If EXOTON went and spent an extra $200 to put into their product, so now they're selling instead of a $600 product, but a $900 product or $800 product, it can exponentially become a lot better. Like, I mean, there's prices to everything. Like I was going through that with the manufacturers, and it's like, you know, the cash register never stops, because these speakers are going to be certified. They're going to have UL certificates on them. They're going to be insurable. You're going to be able to, you know, if those things come up, these products will qualify for that. You'll be able to cover all of that. These things are going to have a sufficient amount of warranty that's going to make you feel comfortable in buying it.
You do want to have all the certifications and all that on it, right?
Yeah, all that. You put Bluetooth on it. You need a certificate from the FCC for Bluetooth. You need to have a safety certificate for the power that's being drawn on it. You need all these things. All have to be done. So these are all safe certificates that we don't see normally when Chinese speakers come straight from China. We only see that when manufacturers do the products. So these are all, you know, I'm willing to eat that up in the price.
Yeah.
To keep it as competitive as possible. But these are all very, very important things. Like I said, warranty will be covered in the States and in Canada. And if we bring it somewhere else, well, then we'll have to come up with a program for that as well. Because I do know that this would sell really well in Europe. If these went over to Europe, they do really, really well.
Nuno says, what's the total height? JTech says, do you have financing? So we don't know any of that stuff yet. This is all still, we're still, you know, devising everything.
Yes. Financing will be available for sure. But like I said, I'm not financing it. This is just, it's like when I had a store, I had financing. So these are amazingly enough, that's the easy parts. That's, but I love you asking the question, because you know what financing means? It means you're a buyer. It means you're interested. you skipped over the, you know, I'm not sure if I want this or not. And now you're asking the buying questions. Buying questions are, do you have it in stock? Can I get financing? Do you accept cash? Can I pay with my credit card? Those are the questions I want to hear.
Yep.
So if you've got questions, you keep asking. Like I said, this is going to take several months to get to fruition. It's one step at a time. Right now, it's the finishing looks of it, just the idea concepts. And now it's going to go to the American guys that actually work in China, because there's guys that actually, they're from the US, they're in China. They're the guys who are going to putting all the back end work to it. So they're taking my program, my idea, my concept, and they're bringing it there. And once we agree that that's something that we're going to do together, Then the next part is going to be to reveal who the partnership is with.
Yeah.
So, and there's a whole bunch of agreements that, we know it's going to look pretty good because we're actually talking about how we're splitting up the world market here. So we're not talking about just like maybe this, that, and the other thing. We're looking at a program. So
Where do you think SPL wise, where this thing will set at?
realistically, you're going to put on a tester. You're probably going to get to the 120, 132, but it's going to be full depth, right? Dynamic. Yeah. That's the important parts. You're going to hit 100 with your music playing. If I just put a test tone or a sweep in it, I can get to 132 like everybody else does at the distance. But realistically, two of these speakers are going to be able to take over any of your speakers that you're looking at right now closer to $2,000. Because remember, the manufacturers are when you look at a QSC and RCF, which are awesome speakers, we've been talking about them all night. You look at speakers like that, you look at the LD systems, there's a lot of money that's tied up between manufacturing margins, like the money they make, the marketing, all of that, then the bringing it to a retailer and letting them have their markets. So, and then what they do is to increase the value of the products, they do what you don't want, which is an app, right? They put additional low cost values. So stuff that companies like this have the R&D, the money to like invest in a good private app for their system. So we're definitely going to be a speaker that people would have to spend at least 50% more to buy any other brand, if not twice as much. So we're definitely going to be, we're playing. I wouldn't do it if it was just better than an MLS 1000. So we definitely have to be, we have to be in the range of, let's say, what we talked about originally, but even with more punch, more power. So our original speaker we talked about was from RCF, right? This one here, the Vox, right? The Vox J8. We need to blow this out of the water for the same price, or less.
Yeah.
Right? Like if I blow this out of the water and I'm at $799, I did my job.
Hell yeah.
That's the idea. That's the idea. So there you go.
Get excited, guys.
Look at this. They are excited. Look at this. We've got financing questions. We got payment options. Yes. Love it all. And yes, these speakers, there's going to be two ordering just to get you even more hyped. When it gets to that point, which will probably hopefully be somewhere in next month or by the end of next month, there'll be the pre-order price, which is where you're taking my word and James' word that it's kick-ass awesome, and you'll get the lowest price. Then there'll be the samples come in, and then that'll be where the price goes up a little bit more for the next 50 customers, because now we have things to actually play around with. Now we're actually like, oh, look at this. Like, this is what we're going to be manufacturing. Like the prototypes will be in James's hands. And he'll be able to like, oh, look at what I got.
Yeah, buddy.
And then there'll be a lot more orders going. So, and again, the earlier you buy in, the more discounts you get, the more value you get. But like I said, everything, we're going to check off all the boxes. So there'll be warranty boxes. There'll be everything you're looking for checked off in that. So that's the plan. That's the plan.
One more quick question. Buddy asked if he wanted to couple the subwoofers and use the tops separately. Is that an option?
Yes, that's always an option. That's a great question. And that's something you can do with most good speakers out there, is to be able to, I just find it excessively expensive, but to run 4 subs and then use them with and without. But a lot of times the price feels comfortable enough that you feel good about it. So that'll probably be an option on the speaker, which will be to run one inverse. But I don't know if it's an extra button on the speaker, but you can definitely be able to have one linked next to it. So this way you can just link another sub and just because I even believe that too, right? So you can run 4 subs, 2 tops. So
the comments are killing me. James, do you think EXOTON is going to look at you as a traitor for being involved in this line? Why would they do? Why would they do that? I don't work for EXOTON. I mean, actually, I think they were a little mad at me for me saying that their speakers stunk like cigarettes and like a fish market. So they didn't talk to me for a while, but I think it's because they were on vacation and whatever. And they also deleted one of my posts that I posted in the EXOTON group.
I know.
But,
They pulled mine. They didn't.
They
I don't.
did?
They're gonna put it in and back, but it was up for about an hour.
Yeah.
For this show, it was up for about an hour, and then they pulled it, I think, and then I had to repost it on my page. So because that sort of thing. But yeah, so it's odd what they'll let fly and not.
I mean, they didn't even send me the speakers for free. They just gave me a discount. I still had to buy them. So, I mean, like, everybody thinks that, like, I'm some EXOTON shill or whatever. I don't work for them. I just like their speakers, and so I promoted them on my channel. But, I mean, that doesn't mean anything, you know? And like I told them, too, I said, if we find out in a year all these speakers are blowing up and they're overheating, and I'm going to tell everybody that. Like, I'm not going to hold back. Trust me. Yeah. And I will tell everybody, hey, I'm a giant asshole because I told you guys these speakers were awesome. Well, guess what? A year later, they're not that awesome. You know, I mean, I'll be legit. So I'm not a liar. That's one thing I am not. I am not a liar.
So Nuno's asking about the covers. You know what? Covers will be part of the promotion offers. The earlier you buy them, you're guaranteed you're likely to get those. So there'll be many different ways you can buy the products, and there'll be many different ways to save money, which will include covers, I will say. So covers, Cable's signature series, you know, where you get a personal autograph, like James is going to sign his name on the bottom of it. I'm going to sign. He's going to have to laminate my name so the most likely thing is that we're going to have somebody else actually ship the products because big surprise, I'm in Canada. So James in Houston, and we'll probably, you know, make arrangements for them to be warehoused somewhere, and they'll make sure they get shipped out. So yeah, it's crazy. All these little things have to happen. Now, understand that this isn't my first rodeo with bringing stuff in from China. I bought and had things, and a lot of times I've made decisions afterwards to pivot and change to dealing directly with brands to get certain things done, and that works out really well because then you get a lot more street cred. Like, people are like, hey, I like what he does, and I like who they are, and you put them together and you're going to get some good shit out of that. And you know, so the idea is to make this happen, and the idea is to make this happen so that a lot of people are very happy about it.
And Nuno's ready to invest now.
That's it, right? I mean, the whole point.
I told you people would be excited about it. Now, here's the really exciting thing. I told Robin, well, if these things do well and everything, I want in the future, I want a fully battery-powered 100% wireless column array. I want it either to work with ska wireless or with... So that's not going to be in the first version, but we are working towards that. I want a speaker that I can literally sit down, connect to my DJ booth with 0 wires. So that's something to really get excited about too.
No, that'll be the James signature series. Yeah, that's absolutely. That's the next generation, because it'll be slightly different, if not the same. The idea is, you know, some people may decide I only want one battery if they are the same power output. And I told them, I said, if we do the battery, it's got to be done right.
Yeah.
So the battery's got to be. We're going to have the most hot swappable. Go in your garage right now, pick up your rigid batteries or whichever one of the most popular batteries sold in the U.S. Take those batteries off your drills, slap them on the back of your speakers. There you go. Don't have to go out and spend another $150. You probably already have 2 of them at home. And if not, you could probably just go to Home Depot and buy a kit. I'm not trying to get rich off of selling batteries.
Now that's a $2,000 speaker I would gladly pay for right now. I'll be like, here's the credit card.
Yeah. And that's it. And the ska, it's like I already told him, I said, you know, I'd have to talk to ska, which I'm going to start sending them emails to have that conversation with them. If I can get it to be like memory in a computer, where you basically add ska just by, you know, take the amp plate off and slap in an upgrade and just put a screw in, lock it in, right? So this way it's like adding wireless to your computer or something.
Yeah.
And then that would be very, very nice, because then it's an option that you can buy on the side, and I can just show you how to install it. So there you go. So ska is available as an add-on, and here you go. And if enough people say buy it as an add-on, then we'll just offer it as, because it's not like Bluetooth where you have to get like on a certain, this is
Yeah.
something that, you swap out a Bluetooth for a ska version, so.
Yeah, I mean, I already have a ska, so I could take our original versions and test it. And then, if it works great, ask the community, would you guys like to have this integrated already? But yeah, man, King Edition. I like that, Nuno. I like that a lot. The King Edition.
There you go. Well, there we go. So we're gonna call it a night because it's 11:19 here in Toronto time.
Yeah.
And it's
We've been
10:19
going for
and
3 hours.
it's time zones.
So
So
we started 30 minutes early and went live afterwards.
James just happened to be. I go to set up everything, and of course, like I was gonna be 15 minutes early, and I turn on the screen and James is sitting there. I'm going, dude, you're already here. You're half an hour early, man.
Like
Okay.
I always tell everybody in the chat, man, me and Robin could sit and talk for 9 hours a day about this stuff. But yeah, it's been good, man. It's been a good show.
There you go. Thanks, guys. We're gonna see you next time. And yeah, remember, James, you got a show this week? Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. This Wednesday, another episode of King's Court.
Who's on King's Court this week? Plug your show, buddy.
This week, I'm going to be having DJ Bar's one of his like best helpers, I guess you want to call it, or roadies, whatever you want to call it. And he also DJs himself. His name's DJ Kev. He has a YouTube channel. So I'll be posting my normal thumbnail or my normal post on my YouTube channel tomorrow night, 7 o'clock. And then Tuesday night, 7 o'clock, I'll set up the stream and have his picture on there and all that. So it's going to be a great show, man. It's going to be a great show. It'll be fun. He's up there in New York, so he's going to have a lot of great stories about DJ Bar. He's got a lot of great stories about the SCE guys. He's got a lot of great stories about the Posh DJs because they're another giant company out there in New York, and it's going to be a fun show. He's also like a doctor or something like that, so it's going to be an interesting conversation for sure. For sure.
Quite the skill levels.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna have at least 3 more short podcasts this week, and
hell yeah,
and like 2 more live shows that I'm gonna be doing. So
yeah, if any of you guys have missed Robin's new podcast he's doing, y'all definitely go back on his channel and watch them. They're short videos, like around 5 minutes or so, 5-6 minutes, and they're super well done, man. Like you guys got to go check them out, man. They sound great, and the thoughts that he's putting on those videos, man, go watch them. Go watch them.
Yeah, and the live shows are always off the cuff. You never know what you're going to get. And by the way, thank you very much, DJ Loop, for the $1.99. See,
yeah, awesome. Look at
that.
Super chat. Nice. Loop Beats. Make sure you're on my show this Wednesday night, man. King's Court.
Bring those tips, buddy. Bring those tips.
I don't think I've seen him. I don't think I've seen him on my live show.
I certainly do appreciate him for being here. There you go. That's a way to make your presence. Everybody else, pay attention. Take note.
Yeah.
By the way, I do apologize. Make sure and watch the live show within the first few days. Now, some of the shows that I've done with James, because of the level of cursing and swearing that I've done. This is also where my customers come to decide if they want me to do their events. This is my channel that, I actually have courses on this channel. And I started realizing, oh man, because I do courses. So it's like, oh man, yeah. So I had to put these behind a small paywall. So it's a tiny paywall. It's only for this show, right?
Yeah.
So, and yeah, it's like I said, it's minimal amount gets you in the door if you don't get to watch it live or within the next 24 hours. So if you don't catch it today, it'll be live all the way through tomorrow. And then I have to put it behind that paywall just so I can, keep my customers. Because some shows are pretty bad. All right, guys. Thank you again. And thank you for the actual super chat. I appreciate it. And we'll see you next week.
All right.
We'll figure out what we're going to do. I don't know. Lights. I don't know if I want to do lights. So, but hey, don't tell my wife that I said that earlier. Bye for now. See you next week. There we go. 188 peaked at